Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to
the Spurs Talk Show. How are you? I hope you are all happy and healthy, doing the things you love. It's Friday. It is Friday. What's been crack-a-lacking today for you? Did you get out of bed this morning and did you go, you know what, quiet day, let's go to London, let's get on the train. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen, surely. And then you get there, go for a nice lunch, couple of beers, and then all of a sudden, your phone starts pinging off like prime Ibiza. Yeah, what's going on? What's going on? And Daniel Levy's left the football club on a permanent, selling the club, selling 25% of his stake to Brooklyn. Eric, my chairman, Daniel Levy, selling to my tech bro, NASA bro, DJ bro, football bro, and I'm not there to pounce on it. What the hell is going on? You, why do you smite me, oh mighty smiter? I should have been here to go live, but you know what? Do you know what? Had I been, then I might have gone too soon. Story of Sean's life. Some of the women in my background, skeletons in my closet, might say, he's gone too soon. Again, what are we doing here? But no, not me. I had to suffer rush hour on the way home, and I thought, Jesus Christ, it'll be old news. But just as I get home, it turns out we don't even know if it's done or not. We don't know. Everybody else went too soon. I would have been on the same journey as them, but I didn't. And you know what? As far as we know, guys, as far as we know tonight, Ben Jacobs has come out with a statement from an Enic spokesperson. An Enic spokesperson saying, we ain't got a clue what's going on. let me show you what is going on, people, because I don't know. Does anyone really know what is going on right now? Let me get it up for you. Pause. That sounded weird. Let me show you this on the screen, and big up to you all for joining on this Friday evening. What's going on there? Who's done that? Who's been fucking with me? What's going on? Let's go that way, shall we? Let's go that way. How about that? Ben Jacobs comes out with a bomber an hour ago saying an Enic spokesperson on claims from 8 Sports Capital Limited that they have purchased Daniel Levy's stake in the club. We can confirm that neither Enic nor Tottenham Hotspur are aware of any sale by Daniel Levy's family trust or its minority stake in Enic, THFC's parent company. The THFC board and executive team remain fully focused on delivering the commitments we set out to fans at the end of the season. Not for sale. But are the parts that are not necessarily inside of the control of the club's owners, i.e. Daniel Levy's stake, is that up for sale? Well, we don't know. We don't know. And when we don't know what's going on around here, guys, when we don't have any clue, I've got Matt Law's article to come to in just a moment. But when we don't know what is going on around here, technically, that sometimes sounds like a bit of a conspiracy. And when there's a conspiracy, guys, there's only one person you want to bring in. Hey, guys, it's Alex Jones here from Infowars.com. We got an exclusive there. The exclusive is we don't know what's going on. We're in Austin right now. We are trying our best to find out what is going on, but there's shenanigans, they are afoot. We don't know if Daniel Levy has sold his stake to the DJ. We don't know if NASA are involved, Flat Earth. Did they go to the moon? Did he actually buy the club? And are they turning the frogs gay? We don't know. I've been waiting to drop my Alex Jones on you all for the last couple of weeks. The last couple of weeks, Alex Jones has been percolating in the background. You know? He's been percolating, but every time I tried to do it, something crashed. Again, you might say, little bit conspiratorial. I don't mind if I do. I don't mind if I... It's not Sean Dyche art. It's not... This is Alex Jones from Infowars.com. Tomorrow's news today. Anyway. So we don't know what's going on, but we do have something to talk about. Let's go and pivot to where am I on this bad boy? Here we go. Daniel Levy claimed. Can you see it on the screen? Can you see it on the screen? I don't know if you can see it. If it's too, let me zoom in a little incy wincy spider. So Ben Jacobs has said he can't find anything. Matt Law says it's claimed Brooklyn Eric is chief executive of 8 Sports, a piece from last year. But let's find out what's going on today. We know about Brooklyn Eric. I know Brooklyn Eric. I've spoken to him. You know, he's my mate. He was supposed to do an exclusive on. Hang about. Let me do this the old cheeky way. Sorry, everybody. But things have got a thing, you know. Are we coming in now? Here we go. Yeah, I know. Oh, I spoke to Brooklyn Eric. He was supposed to come on and give me the exclusive, but then he got told by his legal team that he couldn't do it. He wasn't allowed to do it because it was outside of the initial 90 days or whatever it was. Was it not 180 days? I forget. The 6 months takeover period thing. But as it expired, he said, "Yep, I'll definitely come on. I'll definitely give you the exclusive." And then I messaged him again, and he said, "I'm sorry, Sean. I've been advised I can't say diddly squat." And I presumed that to mean it was a load of waffle. Apparently, he isn't though. Maybe he was just legitimately busy trying to become the owner of Tottenham Hotspur or part owner. Let's find out what Matt Law says, shall we? Let's find out what Matty Law is talking about, guys. Before we get into it, though. 1 second. Let me bring this back on the screen here. Don't forget to smash the like button for me on the video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe if you haven't already. I know it's Friday night. I don't know how long we're going to be on for. Probably not long because it's Friday night and everyone's doing Friday night things. But yeah, we might go. We might go for 10 hours. Who knows? You never know. The magnums are magnumming and content is contenting. I hope you guys are all happy to do the honors. Subscribe button should be squeezed. Notification button should be rubbed. And comments should be dropped. We are, of course, also sponsored by OK Jersey. Code Sean15 at checkout gets you unbelievable ratatata discounts. The best discount you can get in the game on OK Jersey. There's no one with a bigger discount than this one. Sean15 gets you next season's clobber once it's announced. Last season's clobber. Seasons before. 50 years, 100 years of retro stuff. Jeremy Jacques, he gets you all your international clobber. You know where to go. Sean15 at checkout, 15% off. Big up to them for the sponsorship. Also, guys, we're about to break 1,000 members on this bad boy up here. SpursHub.co.uk. I'm just literally in the final processes of doing the mobile testing on the Hubber, which is the new Twitter. That's going to be announced. We've got the World Cup predictions launching in a couple of days' time. We have all of your YouTube content, all of your Twitter, all of your podcast content, everything chronologically synced. You can find new YouTube content creators that you're not aware of. Get over to Spurs Hub. It's your one-stop shop for all of your footballing and Spurs needs. Let's find out what's going on with Brooklyn Eric and Daniel Levy. Let's go and see what is happening over there. And we will come back and say hello to the chat in just a minute. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's find out. Where are we? Enic Sports Capital Limited claims to have purchased Daniel Levy's 25% stake in Tottenham. This was I think this was dropped. This was dropped at the same time. This is the same article, right? So a company called 8 Sports Capital Limited claims to have purchased 25% stake in Tottenham from Daniel Levy. The club's former executive chairman had owned 29.88% stake in Enic Sports and Development Holdings Limited, the parent company of the club. But 8 Sports Capital Limited says it has purchased the majority of that stake. A spokesperson for 8 Sports Capital Limited said, "We are delighted to have signed the agreement to acquire a significant stake in Enic. We look forward to working with the club's shareholders, management staff, players and fans, and to support Tottenham Hotspur's continued growth and success." Really interesting stuff because, as I said a minute ago, Enic have come out. Their spokesperson has said Don't know anything about it. We don't know what you're talking about. Daniel Levy hasn't responded to any comment. And there were some journalists that put this out earlier that have since rescinded their article. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But this feels remarkably similar to what happened, was a couple of months ago, wasn't it? It's probably back in, was it March, February, when we were going through all this? Because I remember Simon Jordan on TalkSport saying it isn't true. Daniel Levy's he's basically saying he doesn't think they've got the money, yada, yada, yada. And I was having messages with Brooklyn, and he was like, I can't say a lot, but it's 100% serious. I need you to, I'd like it if you could kind of corral some support from it amongst the fan base. Of course I would. Shameless Sean, trying to reach high circles. So like you've got the kind of the 8 side that are clearly maybe saying things that they're not supposed to say, but they think that they can say it. And then all the Tottenham side going, don't know anything about this. And you have to kind of question, well, what does that mean? Right? What does that mean? Does it mean if everyone's being sincere here, if everybody is being sincere, there's a very high chance that that's not the case. But if Enic are sincere when they say, no idea what you're talking about, we haven't heard anything, and Brooklyn Eric and Wingfi and the whole crew over at 8 Sports Capital, 8 Capital Limited, whatever it is, 8 Capital Sports, if they're sincere when they say, no, we've signed a deal, we're taking over, and Daniel Levy's going, then I don't know what that means, but I'll tell you what it probably means. In a world where everyone's being honest and one side doesn't know anything, and Daniel Levy has sold his stake and those guys have bought it and think that it's okay for them to be talking about it, it obviously means that these guys are coming in to buy something and the relationship is not like compos mentis and symbiotic and everyone's a happy thing. It also probably puts any dampener on the notion of these guys are coming in with the intention and a specific plan to invest money beyond what they have given to Daniel Levy for the stake in the football club. Now, maybe these guys are just going to sit there and go, look, we want access to the Premier League. We think that there's all of these things happening and Tottenham are a part of the Premier League and Daniel Levy wants out. So we've got a slice of it. Daniel Levy's still going to hold 4 or 5%, whatever. All that stuff's kind of irrelevant. What the important thing here is, where's the money? If it's true, where's the money coming from? Who's it gone to? And more importantly, to Tottenham fans, what does this investment look like from are there going to be additional funds added into the Tottenham ecosystem for transfers and those sorts of things? And as far as this goes, as far as the communication around this is, it's very opaque. It's very confused. It's very unclear. And it's basically very disagreeable, which, again, either means that someone has screwed up and released something that they shouldn't have released, and the other parties are scrambling to distance themselves from it until all the legal entities are all the contracts are I'd and T'd and crossed and dotted. And in that world, it doesn't look particularly professional. It looks a little bit sloppy. Or it means that there's genuinely no communication between the minority sale from Levy to the other side, and these guys are just basically coming in a little bit dry and just want to kind of own something that will, in their mind, as a silent partner, continue to hopefully improve in value over time. But either way, if there is truth to this, if it is going through, what you probably can assume, I would suggest, is that, again, on the presumption that both parties are being sincere, is that the transfer of money from Wingfi and Brooklyn and those guys is just to Daniel Levy. But it does all seem a little bit clown show-esque. And so anybody that's getting ahead of themselves and thinking, the reason why we can probably afford to buy Savinho, to buy Morgan Gibbs-White, to buy Van Hecker, to buy Carlos Baliba, to buy Gonçalo Ramos, all of those stories are true. All of those transfer links are absolutely sincere. And now we know where the money's coming from. Well, I think that's obviously we're stretching into the world of ridiculousness, because if the guys on the Enic side were were already aware of this, then maybe you could kind of go, well, you hope if Enic are aware of it and the Brooklyn guys and 8 company, whatever, they're coming in, then maybe you can make the assumption that there might be more behind it. Yes, Daniel Levy gets his. He's pissing off into the sunset with his $1 billion or whatever it will be. And hopefully there's more money behind it and that they can go in with good faith and talk to the guys at like the Lewis family. But remember, it was literally 2 weeks ago. It was literally 2 weeks ago that Charrington said the club's not for sale. The owners, the Lewis children, said the club's not for sale. We're 100% committed to this rebuild. And so to them, this might be all like, what the hell is going on? And so it brings in option B or option C, which is, has Daniel Levy just gone, look, you don't have any priority appointment on the opportunity to buy the shares. You fucked me over. You've thrown me under the bus. You've treated me like a piece of shit and tried to basically leverage the idea that the big bad boogeyman was me when actually I was just doing your bidding. As you can imagine, there'll be egos involved in all of this. And Daniel Levy will probably, whether he is responsible for the bigger problems than we ever thought, if any of that stuff is well, like whether it's true or otherwise, Daniel Levy is in all likelihood not going to acknowledge those things because he'll be defensive of his own position, of his own contribution. And so he's going to be sitting there going, these bastards, I've worked bloody hard for them for the last 25, 26 years, raised the value, which, you know, the rising tide lifts all ships. Yes, okay, I've taken 60 million quid out of the company in salary, but ultimately I'm the guy that's working 17, 18 hours a day for 25 years on this project. And then when you think it's time to get rid of me, you decide to blame me for everything. When I went to you, Joe, to ask for some more money and you told me no, how dare you? Maybe Daniel Levy's just turned around and gone, do you know what? You. I'm going to sell to whoever the F I want, whether it's a Chinese Triller dude, the guy who owns the poor man's version of DAZN. Triller used to compete with Musically. If you remember Musically, which was the previous iteration of TikTok, when Musically was just basically a dancing and music app or whatever, back, I don't know, what, 10 years ago, however long ago it was, Triller was like the cultural competitor, right? It was a little bit more kind of like a bit more, I don't know, hip hoppy, if you like, a little bit more sort of gangster version of Musically. Obviously, Musically became TikTok and the rest is history there. And Triller turned itself into, I don't know, like a sports live streaming thing, similar to DAZN. And to be honest, DAZN wasn't that spectacular until it got $1 billion in from Saudi, which bought the rights to the Club World Cup. Obviously, these guys, the main investors, as far as I can tell, as far as I can dig around, the main investors in Triller, Wing Fi and the other guys, you know, maybe they see Triller as being, you know, the next iteration of DAZN, the next iteration of, or maybe eventually some sort of Netflix for sports. Remember that? Remember that whole thing that Simon Jordan's been talking about? Who's going to build that? Who's got the infrastructure? Who knows the piping and the wiring of all of those sorts of things? Well, wouldn't it be handy to have someone who's already got some sort of link into the Premier League to be able to build that stuff out? They've already got a general framework, but Triller's got all of the pipeline, but they don't have the funding to be able to take Triller to the next level. At the moment, they're sort of limited with like bare knuckle boxing and sort of fringe sports. But you know what? The Premier League need to build something which is meaningfully complex if they're going to do that. I'm not, by the way, I'm going off on massive leaps and like weird thought processes here because it's Friday night. I'm not suggesting any of this is well thought through. I'm sure there's many holes in my scenario, but maybe there's some sort of truth here. Maybe there's some chance. You know, I think the Premier League are trialing their own Netflix for sport thing in Singapore for this season, aren't they? I don't know. Maybe that's just putting 2 and 2 together and getting a crazy number. But either way, Daniel Levy, to me, it's either that Daniel Levy is keeping quiet because he likes a little bit of mischief, but actually both sides are being sincere. One side thinks they bought the club or bought their stake in the club. The other side is saying, I don't know what you're talking about. And if so, Daniel Levy isn't exactly sharing. He's not really being a bridge, is he? And if that's the case, then as far as Tottenham fans go, What do we think about that? Well, it probably doesn't bode well for like some idea of like, oh, this joining of capabilities and competencies and the economies of scale of excellence are going to merge together and Tottenham are going to be a juggernaut. It doesn't sound like that's the way we're going. If it's true that one side is true and the other side is lying, then again, that just looks awkward and embarrassing. Or it might be that Daniel Levy has just gone, screw you, Enic. I'm going to go and sell to the tech guy and to the Triller guy and see what happens. I don't know. I don't know. It's on Company's House, so can't really see how it's not real. How many Magnums have I had? I've had a quarter of one. No, 1.25. Why am I over the top? Listen, I'm just saying that like Enic are coming out saying they've got no idea about it. So if it is real, you've got a majority owner that are completely unknown to them. That they got a new minority partner, and there's been no conversation. I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing here, Blaine? It's absolutely mental. Let's go and say hello to some super. We got some other news, by the way, today on what was supposed to be a dry news day, a dry Friday, right? Well, Andy Robertson has signed. So when people were saying, I'll believe it when they're holding up the shirt, well, we got one. Andy Robertson. I need to get Drew on the gaff, get him on for his accent. Let's find out what the super chiddly chit chats are saying. The Bears Cave 81 member for 9 months. Big up to you, my man from Woking. He says, why have I got Flat Eric in my head? I don't know who Flat Eric is. But no idea. So I can't comment. Big up to you, buddy. Big up to you. James 119's put in the first super sticker. Big up to you. Big up to you, my man. Let's have a look. What are we doing here? That's what we're doing. Choo to you, bro. Big up to you, Flat Eric. Thank you very much indeed. No, Flat Eric. Big up to you. Big up to you, James. Big up to you, my man. Appreciate you, bud. Appreciate you. Nick Lazy 8, who's put in another member for 47 months. 47 months. You're 1 month away from 4 years. Is that right? Yeah. My word, Nick. My word. My guy. My man. My friend. My buddy from New York. Big up to you, Nick. How are you, my man? He says, can't wait till the Onion takes this channel over too. The shirtless opioid-fueled tirade will be classic. That's right. The Onion took over Infowars.com. Oh, dear. Such a shame Infowars has gone. He might have been a crazy coconut, but he's very good value. And he got a lot of stuff right, did old Alex Jones, you know. Go and look into Bohemian Grove. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Big up to you, Nick. I hope you're well, my man. Blaino says, remember for 33 months, big up to you, Blaine. He says, my DJ quarter owner, my butler, connection into Billy Big Balls. This is going to be a fun summer, Shawnee. More links than a sausage factory. 100%, mate. 100%. Listen, I reached out to him to congratulate. He gave me the thumbs up and all that stuff, but I've emailed him as well and said, if you need any messages, you need any kind of like, let me know. But he's a busy guy. He hasn't got back to me yet, so we'll find out. Blaine has also said, sent in 10 Spurs Talk Show memberships. Wow, such generosity. Big up to you, Blaine. Very, very cool of you, my man. Appreciate you very much. If you did receive one of those 10 Spurs Talk Show memberships, then please do make sure you say thank you to Blaine. I know I keep promising a members phone-in show, and then I can't do it. It's only because I'm so jam-packed with the Spurs Hub. Like every day that I'm not doing one of this, I'm just sat at my desk working away, trying to build the Spurs Hub into something better every time, and it's just chewing up too much of my time. I've bitten off a lot more than I can probably chew with it, but it's a fascinating project. But Blaine, thank you so much, and I will endeavour to do a Spurs fan phone-in show as soon as I possibly can. Let's try and do one this weekend show. Big up to you, Blaine. Thank you so much, mate. Super generous. NSG 1 billion yen says the Thriller Stadium sounds fitting, to be honest. Doesn't it? The Thriller? The Triller in the Thriller. The Triller Stadium, you mean? It's not Thriller, it's Triller. Triller. Doesn't quite sound as good as the Thriller Stadium. Yes, it's a thriller in the night. Da-da-ba-ba-ba-da-da. We should make that our new, rather than Can't Smile Without You. Cause it's a thriller. Superb. Sensationale. Big up to Energy. Big up to you, mate. Thank you very much indeedy. Marzi82 with the super sticker. Choo choo to you, Marzi. Choo choo to you, bro. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Friday evening, wherever you are. Justin Joe says, can the co-CEOs of Tavistock not just ask each other what their dads are doing with the shares? You know, it's so weird, isn't it, mate? It is so weird. It is so bloody weird. It's not on Company's House. Is it not on Company's? I wasn't sure if he was or it wasn't. It's not on Company's House. Okay. I was going to say, because if it is on Company's House, it all seems a little bit more like obvious. If it's not on Company's House, Connor. Do you want to come on, Connor? If you're at home, mate. What's Connor doing? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm sweating like a fucking pig. Let me see if Connor wants to come on and give his take in front of 800 people. Where's my... Let me see. Where is he? There you go, mate. There you go, bro. Get yourself on there, lad. Get yourself on. I think he's going to try and come on. How's my microphone, by the way? I watched yesterday's 3-hour show back, and I realized about 20 seconds into it that my microphone was on the wrong setting, and it sounded all echoey. Does this mean my Spurs fans tokens will go up? What are Spurs fans tokens? Do you have Spurs fans tokens? Is this crypto stuff? Everything in the crypto world is going down, baby. Down, down, down. I wouldn't worry about that shit. Is the sound okay? Is it? Yeah, nice, nice, nice. Con Air. Do you know what? I could actually do with a bit of air right now. Mike is good. Yeah, sorry about yesterday. Absolutely poor. Anyway, listen, let's move away from that. So Connor will come on in a minute, and I know Connor knows. Connor's looked into this shit. I've been out all day down the boozer with my old man, so I haven't actually had too much of a chance to look into it. But hopefully Connor can jump on and give us some insight. It just seems to me like it's odd, right? Something's missing in the communication. Like I say, to summarize my take, unless Connor's going to come in and drop some bombshells, it either feels like one side is lying, in which case that's weird. Both sides are being sincere, in which case that's weirder. And the most likely outcome is that Daniel Levy's just gone, I've got my billion, go F yourself to Joe. And they're going, the Lewises are going, who the fuck is the tech guy? What have we got a DJ? What's going on? It's absolutely mental. Absolutely, club. I kind of wouldn't expect anything less, to be honest. I kind of wouldn't expect anything less. This club. Shall I get Antonio out? Shall I bring out Antonio? Anyway, let's move on to some other stuff, shall we, guys? Let's move on to some other stuff. We have a lot of transfer. Well, not transfer news include not really new names, but some interesting one. Radu Dragusin. It looks like he is leaving the football club. According to plenty of reports today, Radu Dragusin, Alistair Gold said he's expected to depart Tottenham this season, this summer. How do we feel about that? Radu Dragusin expected to depart. Listen, Radu Dragusin for me, I find it really odd with Tottenham fans. I've got to be entirely honest with you. I find it really, really odd. Like, to me, I don't know whether Radu Dragusin is good enough or not. I don't think he's played anywhere near enough. And for every bad game I think he's had, I think he's come off the bench and done some pretty solid stuff. I don't know how people are coming to any conclusions on him. Like, I don't know what we know about him. He's good in the air. His positional sense is fairly good for the most part, but there's mistakes in him. I don't know. I don't really understand how people come to the conclusions they do when we just haven't seen enough of him. But I think what is true with regards to Radu Dragusin is that he is 5th choice, possibly 6th choice in the pecking order in centre backs. Romero's ahead of him. Van der Ven's ahead of him. Danzo's ahead of him. I would probably argue that if it looks like maybe Vuskovic might be ahead of him. I'd certainly say now Senesi's ahead of him. And if we're assuming that Romero's leaving and replacing him with Jean-Paul Van Hecke, then he's certainly ahead of him. So for Radu Dragusin's benefit, I would say he has to go. To get rid of that noisy, loud agent, I think it's probably for the better. That guy always talking too much about his client. He thinks that his client's going to be, the next whatever. And he hasn't done anything on it. But I just find it weird when people say Dragusin's shit. And I'm like, based on what? What has he done to make you say he's shit? He hasn't stepped up or stood out, but he hasn't really had that many opportunities. But yeah, sell him on. Sell him on. So and I think you could probably still qualify that he's probably 25 million quid. Whatever we paid for him, we probably should be able to get some of it back, right? Because he's young, he's highly talented. His agent will never shut up waxing lyrical about him. So to me, I think it's fine. Yeah, Reese is saying if you recruit your money this summer, it's worth it. His ceiling is below Vuckovic's. You'd hope Vuckovic's ceiling is higher than his. Otherwise, he's going to bang his head when he walks through the door. Big guy. Big guy is Vuckovic. But what are we doing with Vuckovic? It looks like tonight, it looks like Tottenham are incredibly close to signing Jean-Paul Van Hecke, which is great for me. I'm a big fan of Van Hecke, a massive fan of Van Hecke. I don't understand anyone that's got reservations about it. The only thing I think that it's a relatively good point to make, or a questionable, like it's okay to ask the question, is 1 second. What's going on there? Is that the price point? Like, to me, it's like 50 million quid is. I think 50 million quid is the top end of valuation metrics for a guy who has 1 year left on his contract. Like that to me is just like, I think that's reasonable to question. I was expecting that we'd get more money. Yeah, I'll be here. I'll be here, Connor. Yeah, something. I'll be here. Should be still here. If you're only going to get 40 million quid for Romero, and you're going to have to pay 50 million for Van Hecke, how do you square that circle on like a competency basis? Is it the same? I don't think there's a huge amount of things. Romero on a good day. Oh, Hayden's in the house. Be up to you, Hayden. Hello, mate. How are you?
All right, mate. Just having a bit of a quiet weekend before the World Cup madness. But yeah, pretty mad day, isn't it? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Well, I've had a few beers today, and then I came back and got stuck into the Magnum, so I'm a little bit chippy choppy. But I don't know. I don't know what to make of this Levy stuff, and we haven't even got to Andy Robertson yet. It's just like Andy Robertson's probably sitting there going, "Fucking hell." That's not even that was more of a Yorkshire accent. When you need him, I need a Scottish accent. I'd like Andy Robertson probably going like, "Where's all the attention for my shirt lifting day?" But everyone's talking about Daniel Levy. What do you make of the Levy thing?
I don't know. I'm sort of like, I thought earlier when Matt Law obviously dropped the news, and then about 6 hours later dropped more news in terms of it's not actually happened. I was just like, oh, it's just typical Spurs just being Spurs, like things never seemingly being what they are. But I've just been listening to you talking about Levy potentially just doing it as a bit of a middle finger up, and actually the Enic don't have a clue what's going on. And when you say it, it's like, yeah, I mean, it would be amazing if that is the case, but I think it's quite possible that Levy has just sold his shares and just sort of yeah, literally, yeah. It sort of feels like that because
it does feel like that. But then what's in it for the tech bro? What's in it for those guys? They're just tying up £1 billion and they don't know when they're going to get it out again.
Exactly. And it's like, why would they release an official statement about it if it's not happened? It's all very odd.
They've released like 2 or 3 statements, and they've all been like vehemently denied by Enic.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Maybe they're just chatting absolute shit then. But yeah, it's very odd. Like, I mean, only Spurs can have this situation where we feel like we got a new like minority owner in the club, and then 6-8 hours later is apparently not a thing. So I don't know, mate. It's all very odd. I mean, at the end of the day, for me, as long as it means more investment on the pitch, I don't really care what way it swings.
But I don't know if it will.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Let's sort of speculate, right? So if Daniel Levy's taken his 650 bar, right, and gone, I'm going off to sit in the Seychelles for the rest of my life. Thank you very much. Or according to other reports, he's now buying like into an NBA franchise to try to bring the NBA to the UK or whatever. That was out last week. I mean, what are we doing here? I don't know if NBA has the same kind of like the same draw in the culture as NFL does, right? Like in America, most black guys love basketball. In the UK, most black guys love soccer, football, right? They don't. I'm not sure. Is basketball like as big a deal in the UK as NFL is? I don't think it is. I think NFL is like fairly huge in the UK.
Yeah.
But I don't think NBA is. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm not part of that sort of world. I don't know.
NBA's, from my understanding, NBA is quite big across Europe. It's just not very big here. I feel like a lot of the players go from like the Scandi countries over to America and play. You get Spanish guys going over. So I feel like it's bigger in Europe, but yeah, definitely not here. Definitely not here.
But if they were like to, I don't know, to redevelop the, I mean, where would there even be a stadium that's big enough? What do they do? Like take over the O2?
Just for the O2. They've done games there. They did a game there in Feb, so it's got the infrastructure for it. But yeah, I don't know. It's all mad.
So Daniel Levy's going to do that. He's going to take his 650 million and drop it into an NBA franchise. Good luck to him. But as far as like the guys that are coming in going, they're tying up all that money. And then they've got to then go and knock on the door and go like, it's almost like a cold call, Hayden. Like you work in marketing. When I first started out in marketing, like 15 years ago after I left finance, I used to have to pick up the phone to some random plumber in Sydney or somebody, whatever, right, a floor specialist and go, oh, hi there, my name's Sean. I work for a marketing company. Any chance I can do your AdWords for you? All that sort of stuff. Like Brooklyn Eric's got to fucking knock on the door of Vivian Lewis and go, hi, I'm the minority owner.
Yeah. I'm that DJ nut that, now owns 24.99% of your football club.
We're friends. We have to be friends. Can we talk about some priorities? And they just go, no, we can't. No, see you later.
It's actually mad. I mean, yeah, I would love to know what's actually happened, and I'm sure we'll find out in the next few days. But yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about this Brooklyn guy, but I think he's got a bit of an interesting sort of like career history, isn't he? He's sort of done a bit of everything.
Yeah, he's a talented guy. He's clearly a talented guy. Made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Although maybe he made this decision before the crypto sell-off that's taken place in the last month. He's probably sitting there going, shit. Everything's down 45%. I can't afford this anymore.
Yeah, he's a stinker.
What do you make of Andy Robertson? Andy Robertson coming through the door, though? First name, first shirt done. Does that give you confidence that the others are close as well? Like Senesi's clearly done as well. That's the next one tomorrow, maybe, or Monday, whatever. That will be done.
I think it gives me confidence that Senesi's done because Romero has broken both in the same manner. So it gives me a little bit of confidence with that. Obviously, I don't know if you saw actually, but Senesi's girlfriend or wife or whoever announced her departure from Bournemouth earlier. So I think they're definitely.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think they're definitely on the way to London. You never know. It might even be a double sweep for both of them. She plays for Bournemouth Women's.
Any good? Do you know?
I have no idea. She looks good, but I don't know if she's any good.
Oh, she looked good, does she?
Yeah. Obviously. I think it's a good move. Like for me, there's a reason why Tuchel has taken Jordan Henderson with England, and obviously we don't think he's going to get any minutes for England. But I think what a senior pro does in a squad is that it provides leadership. But I think the one thing that maybe people haven't thought about too much, and this was pointed out on like a different pod, but when you have those senior players on the training pitch, I think they raise the level of training. They sort of demand more from because they're experienced pros. on the training pitch, they sort of demand more from the other players around them, and they're obviously seen as a bit of a leader. And I think
they'll raise the standards, right?
Yeah, I don't think he'll raise the standards on the pitch, but I think he'll raise the standards behind the scenes in terms of the training. I think
that might then raise the standards on the pitch, right?
Exactly, yeah. So what I meant was I don't think he will be a great asset on the pitch himself personally, but I feel like he'll be good cover. So yeah, I'm not against it. I mean, for the last God knows how many years, everyone's been moaning that we don't have enough leadership or experience in the team. And then I've seen, obviously, we've signed him, and then a lot of people are very torn on it. I think a lot of people are just very they don't really have an opinion on it. They're just like, oh, it is what it is. It's fine, yeah. But yeah, for me, it's fine. Yeah.
What do you think about Radu Dragusin?
Is he definitely going?
Hey, I don't need to know Radu Dragusin. Hayden, he's too slow. We already have Jean-Paul Van Hecke coming in. Marcos Senesi is also a slower coach. Radu Dragusin is what you call a surplus to require. It's too much mozzarella on the pizza. What do you think? I feel like I'm drunk, but I'm not drunk, but I'm acting drunk. I'm going to go back to normal.
No, you're all good. I feel like he's just not really done anything. It's not that he's been bad. It's just that he's not really done anything. He's not really had the chance. He's had a few good games, maybe a couple of years ago. He's had a few stinkers, as well. I don't feel like you can really sort of judge him on what he's done. He's not, because he hasn't really played much. He's just sort of one of those players that's.
What did you say about me? What did you say about me? Yeah, I need to get a ponytail, but I need to get a ponytail bun for this one.
Looks like Channing Tatum, not bloody Radu Dragusin.
Well, a little bit of Radu, a little bit short haired Radu, fat face, short haired Radu. What are we doing here?
But yeah, for me, he's just I think you just got to get rid of him. Van Heck's coming in. What's the need to keep him?
So are you on board the Van Heck signing though?
Yeah, I think I am, because I feel like it could be a scenario where De Zerbi needs sort of passes out from the back. In terms of the way that he plays the very little I've seen with us so far, but I think just sort of from what I've seen and heard from him in the past. And I'm sure you shared it yesterday, or I saw it somewhere. The three most progressive passes in the whole league last season were Senesi, someone else, and then Van Heck was third. So, in terms of that being able to play out from the back, if you're pairing them up with, if it's a Van Heck with a Van der Ven or a Senesi with a Dancer or whatever it is, there can always be one on either side that can, progress the ball well from the back. So yeah, I think it's fine. And also, selling Romero, the main attribute, well, not his main attribute, I guess. Obviously, his main attributes are defending, but his main thing about his game, aside from the defending, is obviously being able to pass really well. And if you're losing that, you've got to replace it, in my opinion. So I feel like it makes sense. I feel like the only thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is the lack of pace. But Danso's not slow, and Van der Ven's obviously lightning. So how many teams at the moment have two lightning quick centre backs that play on either side? I don't think there's many, to be honest.
No, I think that's a good point. I mean, that's a fair. I think that you can bring all. Con, how you doing, mate?
Good, mate. You all right?
Look at that unbelievable goatee. The man can't grow anything from his sideburns down his back, down to his chest. He's like a fucking chicken.
Even lower than that, I can't either, mate. No.
He managed to get just enough going on around here to pull it off. It's very nice, mate. How are you, Connor? You skinny little.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, it's been a while. But it's good to see you, mate. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too. Are you going to drop some truth? Come on then, educate us all. What the fuck is going on?
It's another day in the life of Tottenham Hotspur, isn't it? It's just absolutely mental. Someone just said I'm rocking the De Zerbi look. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of De Zerbi, so perhaps it is that. But yeah, I think with this one, I think we need to see what it. I mean, I'm even struggling to follow it, to be honest, because it's just baffling. I can't see why. With Enic coming out and saying, that it's that they've got no knowledge of it. I just can't see why the investor would want to do it. Why would Brooklyn Eric want to buy into a football club where you've got no relationship with the main shareholder, you've got no control, no decision-making ability? It's pretty illiquid. It doesn't pay dividends. I just
without a seat on the board, would you get access to Premier League ownership meetings, those sorts of things? Would you to be able to sort of like start to rub shoulders with people around the Premier League for sports, the Netflix for sports? If you're Triller, is that where you really see the next opportunity for their like I said a minute ago, right? They've got all of the piping and the infrastructure in place to be able to take something like that on. Is there like a weirder other angle here where they go, well, we buy in here, but that gets us some access, some level of access to other Premier League owners, all of those things? I don't know. I'm just speculating.
Maybe, although to be honest, at less than 25%, you don't even have to declare it to the football regulator or anything, right? So like they're not even.
Nothing.
So it's a bit of a baffling one for me. I just can't see the logic from their side. I get the logic that you guys were chatting through from Levy's side of a fuck you. I get that. Although the only thing as well is like he would be taking a massive discount probably. There's a lot of chat about him getting $1 billion or whatever. If you're selling a minority stake where the majority shareholder's not even on board with it, there is no chance that he's getting full market value for that.
Connor, but the club isn't worth £4 billion.
It's not anyway.
Even if they thought it was, that's $4 billion including debt, right? So in reality, it's like $3 billion. So like Daniel Levy's not picking up a billy when any other owner that was to come in and buy the other would have to inherit the £1 billion debt that's on the stadium as well, right? So it doesn't make any sense. There's no chance that Daniel Levy's actual valuation is anything like a billy. No chance. It might be 600 million because that's like with the 25% debt of his side of the debt factored in, right?
Plus, they're going to apply a further discount to that because they're going to say we're only buying a minority stake and we've got no control and no decision-making ability, no seat at the board. Like, why would you, in private companies, normally, if you're going to buy like a minority stake, you're looking at like a 30, 35, 40% discount to what you think the valuation is because you don't have the control, right? So, yeah, it's a bit of a baffling one all round, to be honest. It's going to be interesting. The next couple of days we'll find out, won't we? I think we'll find out more. There's got to be more said, and you'd assume Levy will do some sort of statement.
Yeah, this is me not having a clue in terms of how all this stuff works. But could this be similar to sort of like Brooklyn almost doing a bit of a Jim Ratcliffe, or is it a completely different scenario?
For me, it's completely different because Jim Ratcliffe was given control with his minority stake, right? So he's the one making the footballing decisions because the Glazers were very happy to go, we'll put Jim Ratcliffe's face on sacking Doris the tea lady because we'd take a little bit of heat off of us. Plus, my prediction has always been that Ratcliffe will end up buying United out. Even when they sort of first announced all the stuff, a lot of it was, written in such a way that he was ultimately going to end up buying the rest. This is, I think I've been pretty consistent with whenever we've chatted about it, Sean. It just makes no sense for me that these wouldn't go into this with like having some sort of amicable relationship with the Lewises.
And by the way, this isn't the first time. This isn't the first time that Brooklyn Eric has come out with some sort of intimation statement that the other side of the coin has said news to us, and he's gone, what do you mean it's news to you? I like he shared on Twitter back in September the invite to the open event day where he got like basically a tour of the stadium, a tour of the training ground and all that stuff, like the itinerary. So again, that might have been like Enic going, well, if they're sincere, that might be them going, we didn't do that. We didn't authorize that. That's Daniel Levy authorizing that. And again, that then might make you start to go, well, has Daniel Levy and all the rumors about Daniel Levy kind of like being frog marched out because they uncovered things in the audit that were scary and the problems are deeper than we thought. Maybe they're not actually talking about the footballing side. Maybe they're talking about the levels of disingenuous behavior from Daniel Levy in terms of cock-blocking investment that wouldn't allow him to get his continuation and encouraging investment conversations where he would have had a chance to stay on, because maybe the Enic was like completely unaware of Brooklyn Eric. But like in September, Enic came out and said, we didn't solicit this in any way. And Brooklyn Eric going, well, someone did, because look, how would I have this if it wasn't true? And so again, it might just sort of lean back to this notion that maybe Daniel Levy, my chairman, I might have to start to rethink this. Maybe my chairman was a little bit of an underhand, deceitful, devious little git, allegedly.
With him giving, maybe. Well, with him giving Don a $6 million on our way out, and
that's another one, isn't it? I actually haven't asked you that one, Connor. Like, what level of PR person / architectural enthusiast gets a £6 million payout? If she was earning 500 grand a year, which would be great money for someone in her role, and she gets 12 years salary as a compensation payout, like she's taking some secrets with her, isn't she?
I mean, even with like the acceleration of bonuses and deferred payments or whatever, the numbers are just ridiculous, which makes you wonder what it's going to be when we see next year with Levy's number. I mean, if it's 6 million for her, who we know was on a fraction of what Levy was on. If
the number is 0, then do we assume that he was sacked rather than,
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe there was some. I know we're completely speculating. I'm going to insert allegedly. I don't want to get into any litigation trouble. But I don't know, boys. Like, to me, I just feel like it's never a dull day in the Tottenham world, but there's never a clear answer either. It's always a little bit weird. And Tottenham fans will probably be excited. Oh, we've got a new owner coming in. Hopefully they're going to have like some sort of co-symbiotic relationship with the new guys. They'll pay off Daniel Levy. They'll come in and go, like, we bought them and here's another 500 million to inject into it. Let's get something going. Let's get this club back to where it is. But the Enic side are coming out saying, got no idea what anyone's talking about here. I just, for me, it screams like if there is truth to it, it's Daniel Levy doing this on his way out the door. Can you imagine?
Yeah, and to be honest, if there is truth to it in the...
I'm off to sit on the beach.
Yeah. The thing is, for me as well, if there is truth to it, that it's sort of all done a bit underhand, and I think it makes it even less likely that this new mob would pump money in to spend on the football club, because why would they do that to benefit the Lewises, right? If that is not amicable. So this could be actually horrific for us if it ends up being that what you just presented, i.e. Levy doing the middle finger, bringing these in, because then you've got all of this boardroom shit going on again for another year, tension behind the scenes, there'll be legal cases, it'll be an absolute mess. You'll have Brooklyn Eric in the media going, I want to buy out Tottenham. You can imagine what it'll be like. It'll be a succession on steroids, right? And it'll just be an absolute mess.
Yeah, and Daniel Levy can't, in the contract, can't offer access or terms to, like, whatever Daniel Levy's shares provided him with levels of control, can those things just be transferred to the next owner? Or does if the majority owner is completely unaware of it, then essentially is all that Daniel Levy could do is say, I'm selling it to this guy, and it comes with none of the things that I had access to, none of those, whatever, like obviously non-voting rights and things, but in terms of like access to information that Daniel Levy might have had that he doesn't like, can any of those things just be kind of duplicated and just be a transference of contract? Or would it have to literally be, no, you can buy my shares, but you have 0, all of that stuff. And then all of those powers would then be sucked back into Enic. I just don't understand how a majority owner could be completely unaware of a deal that is being manipulated by the current minority owner in a transference to an unknown entity. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Makes zero. I mean, look, I think Matt Law, it was back in February or something, didn't he? He put up the article saying there was no first refusal for the Lewis family way back then. And I was like, if that's the case, that is absolutely bonkers. It's mad. You never see that ever. You know, in every...
Well, Tottenham contracts are known to be stupid, though, aren't
Yeah,
they?
perhaps. But yeah, I would say like in every shareholder agreement I've ever seen, there is preemption rights for this exact reason that you want to. And even in many ways, there would be more of an argument in this case because it's based in the Bahamas. So you've got less sort of statutory corporate law protection than you have in the UK. So it's like complete and utter fucking madness to not have it. But for that to then be true, and then as you say, it just seems so baffling. There was one thing that I noticed as well when I read the statement. It was interesting that the stake that they've bought out was very specifically for the benefit of Levy's children.
Yeah, just
and we know that Daniel Levy is also a beneficiary of the trust because he's in the disclosures that Tottenham have. So it may well be that 24.99 wasn't just because they wanted to keep below 25. It was because he wanted to just sell his child's bit and keep his own, perhaps, because it was just interesting that wasn't specifically called out about himself. It was the trust established for the benefit of Levy's children, which implies to me he's still
fucking his children over. He still wants to be a little part of it, so that when that comes to be true, he gets to sit there and see it on their face one more time. He wants access to the next AGM, so he can sit there and stand up like Lubo did all those years ago and ask Daniel Levy for the chance to recreate the Tottenham Hotspur shop. To which Daniel Levy said, "No, we're okay, thanks very much." And that was the start of Lubo's nemesis arc.
When full moment, that isn't it? Yeah.
He never got over that. Never got over that rejection. Listen, let me ask you guys. Let me bring back to football stuff. We've done Andy Robertson. We've done. Well, actually, Connor, have you got any takes on Andy Robertson? Are you happy with Andy Robertson coming in? You see the benefit of it?
I was a bit. I could see the benefit. I was a bit meh, to be honest, when we were linked with him in January, because I was more wanting us to go and get a 24 to 28-year-old left back who could, probably replace Udogie, because Udogie's never fit. The Tottenham tampon, he's in for 1 week out for free. But with not having European football, I get it a bit more. If you genuinely think Sousa is the man in the future, I suppose Robertson provides you a bit of a stopgap, doesn't he, for a couple of years whilst you haven't got European football, and gives Udogie a bit of a break as well. So I get it, but I do think he's a little bit he's on that slope down now. His legs have gone a bit, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. Hayden, let me ask you, mate. Next topic. Cody Gakpo was linked with Tottenham today. It was pretty swiftly rejected by the new latest fan favourite ITK in the Tottenham community, SZY exclusive. He said it's not true, but it has been dropped around a few different places. I know you mentioned Cody Gakpo on was it last night we did it, or the night before?
Yeah.
Was it yesterday we did a show?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'd love to take. I think Cody Gakpo would be a fantastic acquisition for Tottenham.
Yeah.
Are you hoping there's some truth to it, or do you think, obviously, if the guy SZY exclusive is saying it's not true, are we trusting this guy with all of our information now? Is he the kind of litmus test, or what we'll be doing? I don't know.
Well, there's a guy in the chat that's just said Romano's dropped a video, and he says there is interest in Gakpo, so the link to Spurs could be true.
Oh, right.
I really like him. He really fits the new, big, strong, and powerful Premier League sort of player that you need these days. Because he's, I think he's like 6'3". He's got I think he's got a GA in more than once every other game. I know his early career was in like lower league. Well, no, not lower league, but like lesser league around Europe. But yeah, if we can get him, I feel like he'd be great. I feel like he'd be starting on the left wing, and it'd be striker cover. I'd still want us to go and buy another centre forward. I feel like he'd be good. I feel like he's just one of those players that just needs. I feel like he always needs to be. He's one of those players that maybe needs to be the main guy. not like the main guy, but like, you know, like seen as one of the sort of the top dogs at the club. Obviously, when he's at Liverpool, he's sort of undermined by quite a lot of other players. But I think he's a good player. His stats back it up. I see quite a lot of people saying that he does miss a lot of chances, but I mean,
so does Savinho though. Like people getting all the Savinho. Savinho's finishing is dog shit.
Horrendous. His final ball is really bad.
Not just his output wise. Obviously, it doesn't stack up. But if you actually go and look at him, there's a compilation going around, bouncing around. Big up to Hugo's jumping in. There's a compilation bouncing around of Savinho's misses, not his misses, not his his bit on the side, but his misses of opportunities, and some of them are fucking shocking, guys.
Yeah,
some of them are shambolic.
Yeah,
we're talking Timo Werner levels of nonsense here. And I'm like, suddenly I've gone, the pendulum of my mind is swung back towards what are we doing here? I should have stayed there in the first place. Cody Gakpo Firmino, Hayden, I'll take all day long.
All day long, yeah, all day long. 27, proven, going into his prime, played at Liverpool, knows how to win. I don't see why people are so against it, to be honest. Striker backup as well at a push. I feel like it'd be a pretty solid signing. I mean, yeah, and if Romano has just dropped a video saying that we're still linked, then yeah.
But Connor, is Romano just looking at the link that someone else put out and then went, and guys, I can confirm not a here we go, but it's a near we go on Gakpo. Is he just basically just reading out the same shit and then you know, are we trusting Sizzy exclusive more than we're trusting Romano now? What are we doing here, Colin?
Neither. I mean, look, Romano is he's a grifter of the grifters, isn't he? I mean, it's quite obvious that he gets paid by agents as well, isn't it? Because there's certain transfers he doesn't say a word about until the here we go. You know, after he's copied Ornstein, the back post tapped it in. And then others that he goes on and on and on and on about, like Van Hecker, he hasn't mentioned once. I think I saw someone put that on X, you know, with Tottenham.
What did you say about me? What did you say? Here we go. Go on. Sorry, Connor. Can't carry on.
No. I don't know. I mean, look, to be honest with you, I'm not sold on either of them without being.
I'd sooner have Romano as our DOF than the flange, though.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
Yeah. With Savinho, for me, I don't know, man. 50. They're talking over 50 million.
Yeah, a lot of money.
It's a risk again, isn't it?
I just don't understand why. Like, you know, is this you know, Flange's way of covering his tracks of, like, you know, flunked it the first time, but I'm, you know, gonna get it over the line this time. Like, you know, just I don't know, something just doesn't ring true. It's like, yeah, I think we can all agree that Van Hecker.
Listen,
sounds like
two things can't be true though, Hugo. Right? If the Zerbis come in and said, "Hey, I need a £15 million a year, and I need a control," and Tottenham have gone, "Whatever you want, right?" And then he gets in, and then Thomas Frank, and then Johan Lang goes, "No, we still need to sign my ex-player targets," and then De Zerbi goes, "Oh, okay." It doesn't make sense. So if De Zerbi has to be on board this one, he has to be on board.
Well, it's either that or it's the thing I mentioned last night, which is the you know, Sunday.
What's that?
Which is the season ticket deadline is Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good point.
Maybe.
So I wonder if come
Monday,
Monday, like Savinho's going to be, you know, like gone.
But I don't think Savinho is winning over the fan base. I think I would if I was to put out, in fact, maybe I should do it. I'll do it now. Fuck it, we'll do it. Let's do it. What? Yes or no? Yes or no? Savinho. Simple.
I think if you can get him at a cut price, it may be worth a punt. Maybe he needs that regular minutes. He needs the rhythm. He needs to be starting every game, etc., etc. But for 50 million, nah, I'm good.
But mate, we need to be like increasing like the goal output.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Like, why are we great? So he's Brazilian. You know, he's good at taking people on. So that's, you know, like getting bums off seats. But if he's going to get bums off seats to watch him, like, either, hit the corner flag like Jason Lee style, or he's going to put it into row Z, then it's not going to be exactly money well spent, is it? And it's not going to contribute to the one problem that we have had, for the past 2 seasons, which is getting the ball in the net.
The question is,
unless all of these defensive players that we're signing are going to open up the channels, right? Because we're suddenly going to become the greatest footballing side. We've gone from no passes to almost too many passes.
That's great, but unless you've got someone that can put it in the net, it can be as lovely as it likes, like the build up and the channels and everything else. You've got to have like people that can finish.
Yeah, there's a distinct lack of striker targets out there, isn't there? There's just a distinct lack of.
Well, it's just a distinct lack of.
I think Cody Gakpo would be, for me, if you were to offer me right now, I should have done this as the poll: Gakpo or Savinho.
Yeah.
Who would you guys take? So you take Gakpo, Hayden, right?
All day long, yeah, all day long.
Connor?
Yeah, I would take Gakpo. I don't love either, but I think to Hugo's point, we need goals, right? And I think the striker market is pretty horrific, to be honest. There aren't that many options.
Well, no, it's horrific for Tottenham Hotspur. Every other freaking club seems to manage to dig out some diamonds, right? They'll pay like, some rando club that we've hardly ever heard of, like 25 mil. And, it's like the next coming of the goal machine, right? Meanwhile, we've got Johan, who's still trying to sign the dregs from last season that he couldn't get over the line because he didn't read the terms and conditions of the freaking buyouts,
Speaking of which, like absolute gold mines. Now, this might get me cancelled. Please don't take offence if it does. I'm going to take the risk here because it's Friday night and everyone's in a good mood. Should I be going to Bournemouth? Should I be going to Bournemouth? What are we doing here?
I don't even know who that is.
It's me, Mathys Tel.
Why is he Italian?
Hey! Salut, everybody! It's me, Mathys Tel.
It's the worst French, mate. Worst.
Everyone's Italian, apparently.
Hey! I scored more goals than anybody else. I'm going to take this off. Mathys Tel, going to Bournemouth, going somewhere else, where was he linked? He was linked with...
It looks nothing like Tel either, does it? You look more like Patrick Truman with that on your face.
No, it's because I've got a fat fucking face, mate. That's all it is. If I do this, it makes the face look a little bit, a little bit skinnier. Works, no?
Why don't we let's offer Bournemouth.
Here's the scenario.
If it's selling 50 million for Ryan, let's have a little go at that.
If that is what De Zerbi wants, that he doesn't think that Tel is going to be, his guy or even, his second guy, then I'm just then I'm all for it, right? But what I'm not for is having players that were identified before being shoehorned in.
Yeah.
Because ultimately they're just going to be just surplus to requirements in the end, surely.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. Hi. Back by popular demand, apparently. Sorry, this is just for Connor. Connor just asked me to bring up Gem at the G. The GC.
The GC. That's tonight's wank sorted. Sure. There we go. We're done.
Connor, can you please? Connor, keep your hands in sight, please.
I'm definitely getting cancelled. I am definitely. It was a good run, guys. It was a good run. We had a lot of fun, but this is the sign-off show, 100%. But let's get back to the story. So, Cody Gakpo, yes or no? Hugo?
Yeah.
Connor?
Over Savinho, yeah.
Okay. Well, what about Mathys Tel, Connor? Have you lightened up on Mathys Tel yet?
I've never been too bad with him. I just think he's one that he's very young, right? He's too young to judge. He's been.
Would you loan him out? What would you do with Mathys Tel? I don't think he's going anywhere, by the way. I think Mathys Tel is staying right where he is.
No, I'd probably keep him as depth because he also is he one of them that if he stays at the club, he ends up if we do get back into Europe, he ends up becoming able to be on the other list.
No, he's already 21. So
2 years though, isn't it? I think
he's been here a year and a half, hasn't he?
Yeah, maybe he won't.
And 6 months that was a loan deal, wasn't it? So I don't know.
Yeah,
Berghvall,
no, I don't
for it. Not him. Yeah.
I also think sometimes with these, it depends. What are you going to get for Tel right now, anyway? Do you know what I mean? And then is that worth getting instead of taking the punt that he does become a player? I don't know.
I think he is a player.
I think there is a player in there, but I think for him to develop and get to his best, I feel like he needs minutes, and I don't think he's going to get the minutes to Tottenham at the moment. So, like, even though he's our backup at the moment, and I do think we probably will keep him around, if we miraculously sign a couple of wingers, I wouldn't be against putting him out on loan to give him like solid minutes for a full season and then reevaluate it next season. And then obviously we've still got Mikey Moore as well. But yeah, I don't know. Mikey Moore seems to have had a loan and really benefited from it. And now it almost feels like he's ready. Whereas Tel, I feel like he needs that loan and play every single week. So I don't know. It's tricky because then you could argue that Tel is better than Moore at the moment. So it's like, what do you do?
Yeah, I think
I think Mathys Tel's got to stay at the football club. Like, I know if we bring in a better left winger, but I'm not. For me, Savio. If Savio comes in and thinks he's number one, like, okay, cool. But if you don't, if you huff and you puff, but you don't blow any doors down, which I think is what Savio might do. Right, we'll see. But a lot of Man City fans are like, "Oh, don't want to sell him. He's got all the talent in the world. Big up Chastel for joining." And it's because of the style of football. Okay, there's an argument. Yeah, sure. You give him the ball. He hasn't got to play against low blocks. Let's see what you can do in that regard. Cool. If he smashes it, fantastic. Right. If he doesn't, I think Mathys Tel would thrive in the opportunity to have a bit of competition. But if Mathys Tel is of the mindset that, I need to be playing, and you're clearly looking for someone else, that means that you're not set on me. Then again, that is questionable mindset. But like from what I've seen of Mathys Tel, his mindset is pretty strong. Like he rides through the wobbles that he has, and I think he was quite important. I think he was very important in our survival for the last 5 or 6 games.
Well, if you look at the amalgamation of Sell Tel, you get Stel. So there you go.
Yeah, Sell Tel, there he is. How you doing, Stel? Good to see you, mate.
Yeah, great to join another ambush. Good to be here.
You've just ambushed yourself.
Where's the ambush? I didn't say anything.
This channel is just everything's an ambush here. It's a constant ambush.
Well, how you doing, mate? How you doing? So, you coming on to have a pop about the Daniel Levy thing, or did you want to come on and talk football? What did you want to? Where were you coming from? What sort of position were you coming on?
By the way, still we didn't get relegated.
Yeah, thank God, because if we stay up, we'll get rid of Lange. Oh no, hold on, no way, yeah, sorry, no. Listen, I tried to tell everyone only relegation will drastically change the behaviours of these owners, but no, we've stayed up. Hurrah!
Oh, come on, mate. Come on, hang on a second, Estelle. Like, as far as early window activity goes, Tottenham clearly are doing something a little bit different. And I'm not a fan of these owners either, by the way. I was a fan of Daniel Levy, but not these owners.
What have we done, Sean? We've signed a washed-up Liverpool player that once was good at assists, once had pace, and once didn't make lots of errors in 1v1 duels, which he is full of all of those things now. We've signed him. Oh, by the way, we wanted him in January when Frank was here. So clearly, De Zerbi wanted this guy. Definitely, 100%. This is a De Zerbi signing, not a club signing. No. It's all changing, Sean. It's all going in a different direction.
It's fair. But there was skeptical content creators that were out and about yesterday saying it all sounds good, but until we lift up the shirt, I don't believe any of it. Well, today we've woken up to a shirt lift. So like we're 1 down, 3 to go. No.
I don't think you should be saying we've woken up to a shirt lift. That sounds a bit odd. But
Does it? Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I was 16, I might say something like pause, but I'm not, so I won't say that. Look, man, look, jokes aside. Hello to all of you, by the way, in the chat.
Hello,
Good
mate.
to see you all. I'm sick to death of Tottenham doing the same things that infuriate me. If our first three signings were Van Heck, Senesi, and Savio, for example, I would come on here saying, holy shit, things are changing. Oh my God, this is different. Where are we going with this? But when I'm hearing Ben Davies might sign a new contract, the first player we sign is a player that Lange wanted, not De Zerbi, 6 months ago, and he's past the best of what he used to be. I just don't see a difference. And until those things change, look, I'll wait till the season starts to see what the squad looks like then. But this isn't the kind of start to a transfer window.
Are we on the thus far conversation already? The window isn't even open yet. Van Hecker's on international duty. He's on the World Cup, or he's at the preamble to the World Cup. I don't know. Like, the only people we like. I mean, we signed Andy Robertson. He's at the World Cup, right? He's with Scotland.
Yeah.
So we signed him. Senesi hasn't made the World Cup, so I'm expecting that shirt to be lifted.
I think he's going to go to Liverpool now. Riola's gone there. I think he'll go to Liverpool now.
If he doesn't, will you come on and apologise?
Apologise? No. I want Senesi.
Listen, apologise for doubting.
I'm not doubting that we can get him, but my concern was if Iriola goes to Liverpool, which he has, I think now he will end up at Liverpool because Iriola is going to want him to partly fix that Liverpool defence and partly because he knows Senesi. And look, as much as we want Senesi to come to Tottenham, if it does become a choice between Liverpool and Tottenham, we know where Senesi is going to go. Same as what happened with Diaz.
I think the more likely outcome is that Van der Ven goes to Liverpool personally.
That's a disaster. That's a disaster.
It is a disaster, but Van der Ven is a Liverpool fan. All of his family are Liverpool fans. Hayden, let me bring you in. Do you think that Micky Van der Ven might end up at Liverpool?
I was listening to Last Word on Spurs earlier. There was a Liverpool expert on there, and he said that they're not signing any more centre backs. They've got Jeremy Jack.
They need to sign
Jeremy Jacquet is coming in, and that Leone guy, is it? He's coming back from his ACL.
That still only gives them 3 though, doesn't it? And one being Van Dijk, who's getting on, and one coming back from an ACL, and one joining.
And Canate's fucking off, right?
He's gone to Real Madrid, isn't he?
The guy that was on Last One on Spurs earlier was convinced they're not getting another centre back. So I don't know, but I don't think
was he a journalist?
He was a Liverpool fan. I think he's from like Redmen, like TV or something. Like a Liverpool.
Oh, another guy.
Yeah, content creator. So he was saying that they're not going to get another centre back because they've got 2 coming in. They've already got one there, and I think I don't know.
Can you imagine right now if there was like a Manchester United panel taking place right now, and they went, apparently Tottenham aren't going to sign any more fullbacks because Sean Butler or Connor from Legonomics said we're good with Pedro Porro. What are we doing here? Are we taking the word of a content creator where content's got to content? I don't know.
Yeah, true. But I don't know. I just can't see them getting Van der Ven. I feel like they need a Van Dijk style replacement. Van der Ven isn't that, in my opinion. He's not. He's been captain, but I don't feel like he's anywhere near sort of that leadership level of a Van Dijk. So I can't see it. To be honest, I don't think Van der Ven will go there. I don't think Van der Ven's going anywhere. To be honest, I think he's staying.
Connor, do you think Micky Van der Ven will stay, or do you think that maybe, to Stel's point, that Senesi might be a hijack?
I think there's a good chance of the Senesi hijack. I think they might also come in for Van Hecker as well. They've been linked with him, Liverpool, haven't they? They're one of the teams that are on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I don't think Van der Ven will go this summer. I think Romero goes this summer. I don't think Van der Ven does now. I think De Zerbi's managed to switch his head. I think he might end up going next year if he does go.
Yeah. Sign a new contract, insert a release clause, do the
like
Romero thing. Yeah.
I mean, back to Stel's point on Robertson. As I said, like, I'm not massively sold on Robertson. For me, doing the Robertson thing and Davis, what? Surely you let Davis go now if you're signing Robertson, who is giving you that leadership.
I agree with that. Yeah, one or the other. Ideally, the
it's
latter.
baffling.
That makes no sense. Yeah.
Can I just quickly say, right? I've been trying to copy Sean this summer window by doing all these bomber videos, none of which I believe, but I'm doing them every single day. And I've built all these AI agents that are now doing all the work, the analysis, the graphics for me. It's brilliant.
Yeah, they do look great. Yeah.
Oh, mate, listen, get technology to do the work. It's fantastic. But what I've understood from everything that I've uncovered in the analysis is this. If we sell Van der Ven, we are royally fucked because De Zerbi likes to play with a high line, but a controlled one, not a wild one like Ange. And he likes to play with a high press. So we need some pace at the back. If you sell Van der Ven, Robertson lacks pace. Senesi, one of his weaker points is he lacks pace. Van Heck, one of his weaker points, he lacks pace.
Yep.
Danzo and Romero are roughly the same pace as Van Heck, who lacks pace. There is no pace in that back line if you lose Van der Ven, which makes the De Zerbi system highly vulnerable. So I don't mind if everyone wants to hate me in the chat and call me negative, right? Say what you want in the chat. Argue my point. Don't hate me. Argue the points I'm making.
I think we all. I agree with you on that. I agree with you that if you sell Micky van der Ven, you do have a lack of pace, right? However, there's a player that we have been linked with for a long time. Juventus's right-sided centre-back / right-back Pierre Kalulu, and that guy is super fast. And listen, he's a right-sided centre-back that's sort of been converted to a right-back. I actually think the geezer wants to be a right winger. Every time he gets hold of the ball, regardless of the position that he's in, he dribbles like a child, and his ball control is better than Bugsy Malone's. He wants to be someone that can sort of like switch, click, like sort of do fucking nutmegs and all this stuff from the centre-back spot. He's a lunatic, but actually does have those sort of those what do the kids say, minerals, the minerals for a certain system. I don't know if we're actually interested in him, but I take your point still. I do think that if we do sell, like, Van der Ven's value is accentuated in a world where you want to do pairings and partnerships in the De Zerbi system, and that's where the valuation of Micky van der Ven is, because he's not that great at anything else apart from recovery pace, recovery tackle. And
the problem is, if he goes down,
good,
there's no one else with pace to fill his spot, is there?
Nah, but this is the thing. Like I was saying this earlier, I don't think there's another club out there that has two really pacey centre backs that play either side, and also then two really good passers that play either side. Most clubs have a bit of a high, like a defender of all sorts of, and Danso's not exactly slow, is he? Like, he's like Romero pace, so it's no different to having like Romero and Danso. I don't think Danso's any slower than Romero, is he? Like,
no, he's not. But I think his turning speed isn't great.
Oil tanker, yeah.
Yeah, but sorry, what's your name in the corner? I've never met you before. Sorry,
Hayden.
Nice to meet Hayden. Yeah, to your point about teams not having two quick centre backs, the way they overcome that is they always have one of the fullbacks that holds further deeper because they tend to have pace. But the problem with Spurs is Ben Davies, if he gets a new contract, he has no pace. Robertson is now lacking in pace. We don't have pace in the fullback areas either with the players that we're signing. So where, and this is, I actually did a video on this yesterday saying, how are we going to partner these players we're signing, assuming we sign the ones we're linked with and the ones that we're keeping? How do you partner them so that you can play a high line and you're not dependent on one player only for pace?
I think it's pretty obvious, right? You play Micky van der Ven on the left with Van Hecker, and you play Danzo with Senesi. That's probably it.
Yeah, but that's only one with pace then, Sean. That's only Van der Ven with pace.
That's what I'm saying. If Van der Ven goes down injured, then you've got no centre backs with any pace.
Yeah, but you can make the argument: how did Tottenham get away with it this year? And how many defenders in the Premier League have got pace like Micky van der Ven?
Yeah, but hang on a second.
We didn't get away with it. We finished 17th.
No, but I mean,
He
like,
finished 17th.
Okay. Let me rephrase the question. How does name me a team in the Premier League that have got unbelievably pacey centre backs?
Yeah, but my point being, Sean, is that like when you don't have pace, like for the last couple of seasons, our back line has been sitting a lot deeper. If you're going to play De Zerbi ball, you're not going to have like suicide high line like Ange, but it's going to be a lot further up the pitch, I think, than it was under Frank and Tudor.
Yeah, but realistically, you're talking a couple of meters, right? And it depends on like the only time you really get caught out is if you lose the ball in the midfield, if you lose the ball in transition, where like someone like Pape Sarr fucked us more than people imagine.
Well, yeah, in that case, it was when, not if.
Because if you get transitioned on, when Berghvall was giving the ball away, when Polinia, or he was handing the ball over to people like Pape Sarr at the start of the season, Pape Sarr would intercept the ball and then would just give the ball away. Tottenham were murdered by transitional like situations because we had a fairly high line under Ange, and then we were pivoted on because of our giving the ball away. But if you have people in the midfield and in the back line that are extraordinarily competent at getting the ball from A to B quickly in transition themselves, I don't think those things are as big of a problem. Like generally speaking, you're not gonna have a high line that's sat on the halfway line and then have to worry about the 50 yards behind them unless you give the ball away sloppily. And those situations are going to happen less and less times if you have highly competent passers of the ball, which we will have if you keep Pedro Porro and he's on a good form. If you have Van Hecke and you have a Senesi, for example, and I mean, Andy Robertson's a good pass for the ball, but the most important, the crucial thing we haven't yet resolved or fixed or been linked with is a fantastic, phenomenal six that can hit the switch and that also can just get the ball to where it needs to be on a consistent basis. You look at people like Van Bommel, you look at people like Danny Olmo, you look at some of the midfielders out there that are playing for the best teams in and that they are their passing acumen, they're like 90% proof every single time. It's like drinking ethanol. They get the ball where it needs to go every single time. And those teams can sit there with a high line because they don't fear the over frequency of being transitioned on, because the passes go awry as more rarely than they would do in a traditional Tottenham team. So this high line, I'm not as worried about not having acceleration pace from behind in a world where we have incredible passes when the ball is in our possession. And when it's not in our possession, when the other teams have got the build-up play, you're naturally just going to set up and just drift back anyway. So that sort of space is going to get filled by just organised structural defence, in my opinion.
I feel like it's incredibly rare that a team has two centre backs that are like lightning quick, just in case we give the ball away high up the pitch. It's quite rare. Like if you look at all the top teams, like Saliba's quick. I don't think Gabriel's that fast, is he? He's fine. Kusanov is lightning, but Guehi, is he what? Guehi's probably similar pace to like a Romero.
Yeah, but Arsenal play a bit more of a pragmatic system. It's not so much of a case. Whereas the teams that only have that one quick centre back, they always have one fast wing back that will tuck in.
Okay, but look at Manchester City.
See, Jed Spence, for example, if Jed Spence was playing, now I get it. That would make sense to me, but his passing ability is lacking. So where he lacks technically, he makes up for in the pace.
Yeah, Jed Spence is your get out of jail free card on the right, and Micky Van der Ven's get out of jail free card on the left, 100%. But you look at Manchester City, they own, like, if they've got John Stones playing, he hasn't got incredible pace. Kusanov does, but Kusanov isn't the passer. Right, so like there's a yin and a yang. If you have a player that is incredibly fast, like a Whippet, and also has incredible distribution from the centre back spot, then you're talking £120 million centre backs, and those things they're never going to.
Sean, but you're talking about one of the best possession-based teams in European football. Right?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I agree with your point, but we don't have those players, do we?
Well, we're trying to get them though. That's why you get Van Hecke. He's one of the best passers in the game. You've got Senesi, one of the best passers in the game. You've got Pedro Porro, one of the best passing right backs.
We need it in the midfield, though, where the ball's lost.
100%. 100%. So for Tottenham, for this De Zerbi rebuild to work, and for Senesi and Van Hecke to make sense, not only do those guys need to be excellent with the distribution, which they are, but you still need that six to sit in front, the playmaker, who is incredible. And what worries me is that Tottenham apparently are linked with Carlos Baleba, and Carlos Baleba is the worst fucking passing six. Worse than Polinia. He's absolutely shambolic. So I don't really understand that logic unless Tottenham have got plans to put someone else next to him. But that would require making space by either selling both of Archie Gray or Berghvall or getting rid of Bentancur. We know Bissouma's leaving and we know Polinia's probably not staying. But if you want to bring in a Carlos Baleba, you're still going to need an unbelievably talented double pivot partner for him to be able to do what you're saying there still. So we're on the same page, but the strategy has to be fully baked. And I don't know if you can do all of that in one window.
Why do we want Baleba, by the way?
I don't know.
I don't know. To me, I think he's massively overrated.
Yeah, I mean, like, we looked at yesterday when we cracked out the, the competency map, right? And his was tiny compared to a bunch of the others. You remember the Everton lad,
James Garner.
He looked like the best.
Garner's
choice,
a player.
Garner's brilliant.
And
I do also think with De Zerbi, it is people often sort of mix him with Ange, though. He's very different to Ange in the system. I don't think even the way he builds up actually from very deep because he wants to invite the press on, whereas Ange was straight away from our goal kicks, inverting both fullbacks forward.
Well, I think the difference is that De Zerbi
plays a much higher line than De Zerbi.
De Zerbi is actually a coach, right? That's like a massive difference.
Look at that.
I mean, look how good we've been defensively, to be honest. I get
since
he's
come
going to try
in
and play more expansive. Since he's come in, the defensive shape is good. It's night and day from the defensive shape under Ange.
Right, and they want, like, how much for Baleba? They want silly money, don't they?
Well, apparently they wanted 100 million quid for him last year. And by the way, last year's Baleba
was worse.
It was slightly better. Last year's Baleba was in the green. This year's Baleba's in the blue. Like, for me, like, if we're going to drop 50, like, they wanted 100 million from him last year. If they want 60 for him this year, sorry, like, you can go and get this geezer from Fiorentina. I know we've done. Sorry to the chat, we've done this before, but he's in the red. Garner's in the red. I believe Fagio's in the yellow. Like, there are plenty of players out there that cater to more of what we're looking for in terms of passing. Progressive passes from Fagioli in the 90th percentile. 90th percentile. Jules, he can still handle the job of the six. Very, 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 very accomplished. He's up there with the key passes, which is comparable to James Garner. James Garner, for me, is obviously probably the number one realistic target in the Premier League. You know, I don't know. You're not going to get, Elliot Anderson. You're not going to get. I mean, Elliot Anderson there is in the purple. I mean, that's just an insane season from him. But you're never going to get him.
Why can't we get Anderson? Why not?
I think he's going to go to Manchester City.
Because they've already rejected 105 million.
I don't think we're going to get that. I don't think you can move the needle in that and also the striker.
We need some more if we're going to be serious about trying to qualify somehow for whatever European competition we might be able to get into. We're going to need some English blood in. I just don't see why Garner is probably going to be the most reasonably priced. Why wouldn't we be be going after him?
Yeah,
I mean this is the guy that I think Tottenham. I think the whole European market is sleeping on him. Joey Veerman, right? Yes, he's slow as he's slow. He's playing like he's got a caravan on his back, but
molasses.
Yeah, he's really, really slow. Not really slow. He's like Tom Huddlestone, but on steroids. But he's 27, so you can make the argument that maybe there's sort of times passed him by. But then people like Serhou Guirassy didn't emerge until they were 27. There's loads and loads of players that are just late bloomers. Joey Veerman, for me, in terms of you put the ball at his feet and you ask him to get it somewhere, it gets there every single fucking time. And for me, the standard of passing doesn't change. If you can pass the ball on a Sunday League pitch, you can pass the ball in the Premier League. Are you capable of doing it under pressure? Are you capable of doing it under the press? And Joey Veerman's stats are insane as a press resistance player. The issue with him is he's just not very mobile. So if you were to put someone next to him, let me get rid of that. If you were to put someone next to him that's got all of the pace in the world, like Joey Veerman with a Pape Sarr that you're not relying on, and Joey Veerman
What about the
Conor
Stuttgart?
Gallagher, that sort of thing. Exactly, like a Conor Gallagher, Conor. Then maybe you have some sort of solution there. And Veerman's going to cost you 30 million. James Garner's probably going to cost you 70, 80. Fagioli's probably going to cost you 45, 50. Elliot Anderson's going to cost you over 100. Carlos Baliba, Brighton will probably think that he's worth 80 million quid because that's what.
What about
Brighton
the
do.
Stuttgart lad?
Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll put him in as well. What's it?
Stiller.
What's the Stiller? Yeah.
For me, the problem with Veerman is that it's the
But
Dutch
just look
team.
at all of those players are so similar, and the standout one, the standout underachiever, is the
Baliba.
guy that you can see here, and it's Carlos Baliba, and that's the one we're linked with.
Sure.
And he's going to cost you
Can
more
you
than
add,
most of them.
Can you add Tyler Adams from Bournemouth?
Sure. Adams is in the orange, and you can see that. So poor with key passes, decent with forward pass percentages. Where's he underachieving?
He's basically missing half the graph, isn't he?
It's progressive passes and key passes, which is what you need. Progressive passes, by the way, are far more important than forward passes. Forward passes is just anything that leaves your foot that goes forward by like 1 degree. Progressive passes are intent-based, deliberate, and direct. And for me, like in a Tottenham model under De Zerbi, you need a progressive passer more.
Is this just for UK players, or can you put overseas players in here?
Anyone in the top 5 leagues.
All right, could you look at a player called Lucas Toro?
Where does he play?
Lucas Toro currently.
That's in there. Osasuna.
Yeah, I was going to say he's at Italy. I forgot which club though. What colour
He's
is he?
31 years old. So I've never heard of him. He plays for Osasuna and he's in the green.
Yeah, he's
so
awful. That is awful. He's awful.
Not great.
No good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a very good year.
I
this
presume
year,
Adam Walton is similar to these guys, right? Okay.
Yeah, let me bring Adam Walton. He's actually Adam Walton actually looks a little bit under impressive compared to the rest of them. Adam Walton's in the light blue here. He still had a good season. Key passes, he's the best of the bunch.
That's pretty good, though.
Progressive passes, but that's to be honest, that's what you're looking for, right? You are looking for that sort of stuff. What's interesting about Adam Walton is that as the season started out, his wheel, I call it the wheel, was really poor. But as the season progressed, it stretched out like a balloon. So he actually finished the season with far better looking stats than how it was in January. I remember I had this conversation in January, and I was like, Adam Walton really ain't. He's not having a great season according to the stats, right? But the stats are not everything. You've got to compare it to the eye test and the context.
Yeah,
and all that stuff.
for me,
I love watching him, Adam Walton. I think he's such a fan.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. But if Everton are getting Hayden Hackney and that Hmoyland, I don't even know how you say it. Hulmand guy.
Yeah.
That's 2 number 6s/8. So what? Yeah, why can't we just chuck 55, 60 at Ghana? It's 25 English. He's good.
I don't want Carlos Baliba. I don't expect to get Elliot Anderson.
I don't want Veerman just because of the
Joey
Dutch.
Veerman's too much of a risk, right?
Yeah, Dutch league.
One of those 4, I'd wet myself if we got one of those 4.
Yeah,
on the screen. Sorry, let me bring that. That's what I do.
Yeah, and then if you get a passer in the 6 and then you get a ball carrier in the 8, you get like an elite ball carrier in the 8. What's Alex Scott like for carrying?
I think he's just signed a new contract, hasn't he?
Is he?
No, he hasn't. No, he's turned it down. Unless it happened today.
Yeah.
Alex Scott's
his passes are good, but his carrying's all right. Yeah,
carrying's good. Yeah.
You need a carrier in that 8, I think.
Do you know the one problem with radar diagrams is there's nothing. They're good when you use them with other tools as well, but in isolation, what they don't show is how the players around them compensate their weaknesses. So as a unit, they function. So
100%, mate. These things. Listen, if you're trying to summarize a midfielder that has like 1,000 things that they have to do, verbally, non-verbally, on the pitch, off the pitch, like the mentality side of the game, the pace, all those things that are not measured in any of these things. If you're trying to summarize a player in seven statistics and you have none of the context to back it up, like these things are like interesting to identify, but you can't lean into it and go, you know what, Fagioli's my guy or Joey Veerman's my guy. You then have to take it to the take it to Wisecout or take it to YouTube or take it to any of the other stat places and then go and look at the videotape and then sort of understand how that these numbers are built out. Like, are the team that they're playing for better than most of the teams that they're up against? Are they, especially with strikers and that, if you look at certain players like Samu Agahawa, for example, like Samu Agahawa's stats last season for goals and the season before were sensational, and you'd see the striker stats in here and he looked like he was fantastic. You then take that to the Wisecout and you go and dial it in and you realize actually he never scored against the team that was Premier League standard. Right, he only ever scores against teams that are bottom half of the Portuguese league, which is the bottom half teams in the Portuguese league would struggle in the Championship. So then you have to sort of stats alone are nothing, right? You have to bake it in if you really.
Someone just wrote that Stiller's buyout is around 30 million euros. If that's true, what are we even doing?
Yeah, true. I feel like my only thing with this number 6 role is that it's so crucial. Do we really want to take a punt on someone from a foreign league? That's my only concern.
Yeah. I don't want us to sign another player with Lange as the football director. I don't understand why he's still here in control. What is going on at the football club?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Well, his rolling contract is until the end of June, is it not?
Is he on a rolling contract? Is that what he's on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, apparently he didn't know that, did he? That was the news article that he didn't know how his own contract works. I mean, that should have been their first move. If this Enic 2.0, which we all know is not any.
I mean, is it any surprise
the
that we
first
can't
move should have been a new director?
Is it any surprise that the club can't read players' contracts because the guy that's reading them can't even read his own?
Can I just press pause for 1 second? I've just seen something in the private chat. Destiny and Tom Kingham, I haven't seen what's going on. I've been engaged in this, but like, you're both mods. Can you guys act like mods rather than going at each other? We've had this conversation before. I don't know who's responsible. I don't know what's going on, but like, you're mods, right? There's a standard. Like, don't act like you're encouraging other people to act like donuts.
It's Destiny, Sean. He's on a mad one.
All right, Destiny, if it's you, I haven't seen any of it. I don't know who's doing what. But can you guys just chill out, please? Like, the mods are supposed to be the people that are controlling everyone else, not acting like donuts yourselves. So just relax, yeah. It's a Friday fucking.
Bring Gemma
night.
Collins back, Sean. Bring Gemma Collins back.
Hi there.
How are you? What are we doing here? Where were we? Sorry. So we were talking about
Lange's contract.
Connor got a bit twitchy
Lange,
then. You put the voice on and Conman got a bit twitchy again.
Lange is on an O2 pay-as-you-go contract.
Do we think that is there? Do you guys think that there's going to be a new director of football announced this summer?
It's the hope that kills you, mate. It's the hope that kills you.
Maybe there is. Sorry, I thought. Do I think Lange is going to go? No, I don't think he will go this summer. I think.
Do you think he'll get reallocated?
Possibly, yeah.
To the bin, hopefully.
No, I like the Villa scenario.
Do you know the issue I've got is Vinay's chairman. So he's got his ways, and I think Vinay is just hell-bent on this dual football director role. I actually think he sees credit in it, where I see it as a disruptive force.
Yeah, but the dual thing was never Vinay's thing to begin with, right? That was Levy's idea, wasn't it?
But Levy's never done it in 25 years. As soon as Vinay comes, we start doing it.
Well,
I mean, listen, I don't know. I'm not in the boardroom. I'm just guessing, right? But Vinay's the chairman now, right? He's the chairman now. So
not chairman. No.
CEO, sorry. All right. I don't know who's in charge. Is it Belcher? Is it Charrington? Is it Vinay? Is it the Lewis kids? Whoever's in charge.
I think it's a case of who's in charge of what, I think, is more of the point, right?
Whoever's in charge of appointing the footballing people to do the footballing jobs, that person, if they want to keep Lange, they need to be shot. If they want to bring in a second football director to work with Lange, they need to be shot. They should only keep their job if they get rid of Lange and bring in a proper football director, not the guy from Dortmund who isn't anything special. They need a proper football director, someone that's going to build the project for 5 years that gets it. And if we don't do that, where are we going with this?
Any particular DOF you fancy? It's a weird market to explore because you don't like. How do you really judge a DOF? You judge a DOF on the players that they sign, right, and how well they've done. But some DOFs are under very weird constraints or mandates. You know, comparing Louis Campos to Sebastian Kell just on players signed is foolhardy, right? Because
Sean,
Louis
I said
Campos,
on the Spurs 5, Thiago Pinto, the guy running the show,
Bournemouth
that's
guy,
the kind of guy I would like at Tottenham. Someone that just gets football, he's got a good track record, Premier League proven. I mean, that is an upgrade on Lange. Even if he doesn't quite do it at Tottenham, it's an upgrade on Lange.
Okay, so let me ask this. I see. I'm not that familiar with Bournemouth's model. We all hear about Brighton and Brentford being the data guys, and the geezer that's just left, Jason Ato's just left Brighton. Now he wasn't responsible for the data model, but we also learned a lesson from what happened with Brentford. Right, we went and took like half a dozen of their personnel, and we became worse. And Brentford were better after they left. So when you look at Brentford, you kind of go, well, it's not the people, it's the model, right? And it's probably the same at Brighton because you look at people like De Zerbi, we don't know, but I like De Zerbi. But you certainly look at people like the geezer who went to Chelsea and then to my memory fades, and then went to West Ham. Who's the manager I'm talking about? What's his name? The English guy? Graham Potter, right? And people thought Graham Potter was like, oh, he was responsible for Caicedo, he was responsible for McAllister, he was responsible for Cucurella. Turned out he went to Chelsea and he struggled, went to West Ham and he failed. And so you go, okay, so at those two clubs, it's probably not the personnel, it's probably the mix of the personnel because they've been identified by Brighton, by Brentford as good fits for the model, and the model has identified them through the data. So it's the kind of
So Sean, what Pinto does,
tail wagging the dog, but I don't know if it's the same at Bournemouth. But people are starting to consider Bournemouth to be a similar club to Brighton and Brentford, in as much as the data supports it. But is Pinto driving it, or is it the data that's driving Pinto? I don't know.
Pinto oversees the strategy, and he also oversees the European scouting network. So he doesn't actually do the scouting, and he doesn't actually do the things that the head scout or the data analyst would do, but he builds the systems and teams that allows them to do their job, especially European networks. He's very good at the European scouting network system.
The problem that we got is that we had Mackenzie came in on the coattails of Lange from Villa.
Yeah,
right?
Mackenzie gets away with murder, bro. That geezer's got to go.
He's a donut.
The thing is, as well, though, this whole trying to replicate Bournemouth, Brentford, Brighton models doesn't work for a club the size of Tottenham.
Yeah, agreed.
Because these clubs sign players that know that they're going to those clubs as stepping stones. We don't want to be a stepping stone, right? So
I don't understand. I agree.
It's a nonsense when we come out and try to replicate it.
Why, if we want to behave like a big club, or then why aren't we creating the Tottenham model? Like actually a viable one, as opposed to the current shit show. Which
in order to create the model, you need to bring in someone that knows what the model needs to be, right? It's like a catch-22.
Yeah, but it can be its own model, right? It doesn't need to copy every other Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Do you know the best man for that, mate? Honestly, I met him at Old Trafford. We were there on a course, and he was doing a 1-hour talk, and everyone was just wowed by him. And that is Ralph Rangnick. Ralph Rangnick to build the model. He is
he's at the World Cup with Austria, isn't he?
Yeah.
Maybe we've got to wait.
You know what? And he'll leave after the World Cup because they're not going to do anything at the World Cup. So he might be free. Maybe that might be. But he'll want to come in and go. What he did at Manchester United, right? He was right about Manchester United when he was there. He was the interim manager, and he was like, this club has got many problems. And the Glazers said, "Nah, fuck off, go and get out." And they brought in a series of managers after him. But he was right about the problems there, but he never got the chance, right? And then he pissed off back to Europe, and he ended up at Austria. I don't know whether he wants to be the manager and the DOF, or I don't know, but for sure he would be someone that if you paired him with the right manager, and they could get on the same wavelength. I think you could buy into it for sure.
Mate, he's not a manager. He can do it, but he's not a manager. He's a director of football, out and out. Mate,
Yeah, if you fancy yourself,
he invented Gegenpress. He invented Gegenpress.
If you fancy yourself capable, then you're going to have judgment. You're going to have conversations where you're judging the person that's doing the thing that you think that you can do that you're not employed to do. And I always think that the problem with the manager versus the DOF role is you've got two different mandates. Someone doesn't care. The manager doesn't give a shit about the future. He cares about the now. And the DOF doesn't care about the now. He cares about the future. And so you have to have a symbiotic relationship where there's a little bit of give and a little bit of take, and everyone's on the same page, and hopefully you can build something together. But otherwise, you have a situation where the manager's saying, this geezer's trying to force me to spend my precious budget on a fucking 17-year-old that's never going to be ready for me. And I'm trying to tell this guy, no, I need a 28-year-old that's going to score me 20 goals. And then the owner's going to pick a side. It's like the most obvious frictional kind of relationship in a football side is, can you get those two to work together? And if you can, it can be beautiful things. If you can't, it's always going to be a nightmare.
So let the director of football pick the manager, and when the going gets tough, let the director of football call the shots on that. Don't let the board interfere in that moment. That's all the clubs that have gone through these projects. They hit rocky roads and they ride it out. And it must be because the footballing people are having a stronger say than the owner of the club. It must be. Otherwise, the owner of the club would say, no, this is too risky. I'm not doing it. You know, this is my money on the table, not yours. At Tottenham, it seems the other way around. It seems the Belchers get involved, the Lewis family get involved. And it's, well, hold on a minute. Right. If they've sourced Frank and Frank's their guy and this is their project, let them ride it out. Let them. But they weren't allowed to. Now, I wasn't against Frank going, but no future project will work unless whoever the director of football is gets to ride it out with the manager that he's picked. I don't think the director of football picked the manager, though, by the way.
But what happens if the director of football picks the manager and the manager's failing on the pitch? Does the director of football feel obliged to be loyal? Or does he throw him under the bus? And then what does that mean for the next guy? You know what I mean?
Again, that goes...
It's politics, isn't it? It's politics.
Well, no, it's a simple answer. You make sure you hire the right director of football, i.e. not Lange. Right?
Well, I agree with that. And by the way, the director of football for me, when I've looked into the average salaries of directors of footballs, guys, I don't know if you guys have seen this. And Connor, you might know this, mate, because you're into football, but you also work in the employment and compensation. The director of football for me, in terms of the value and the impact that they have on the things that matter versus how much those guys get paid on average compared to managers, compared to players. It's insane. Louis Campos is the #1 director of football in the world, and he gets paid 6 million quid a year. Right, like 6 million quid a year is half what De Zerbi gets paid. Like, what's more important, a director of football? Would you rather have the best director of football in the world, or would you, and an okay manager, or would you rather have the best manager in the world and a shit director of football? Because for me, Tottenham aren't spending enough. I don't know how much. I bet you Langer's getting paid 1 million quid. That's it, 2 million maybe.
If that.
Well, he got a raise, didn't he?
I don't know. Did he?
Yeah.
For
What's
what?
more stressful, director of football or manager? What's the more stressful role?
No, manager, because you have to answer. I think you have to answer to the press more, and you're the face.
You're the face of the club, aren't you?
Well, that's probably why the manager gets paid more. Then it's stressful.
I mean, that is a nonsense.
I understand that, but like, if we're sitting there saying, if we all agree that the director of football is like a massive part of the cog, and yet in terms of like how much of the cost of doing business,
yeah,
and then you go, well, I can go from Johan Lang on 1 million quid a year, one of the worst DOFs in the Premier League, to one of the best DOFs in world football by going and speaking to Louis Campos at PSG and saying, hey, we'll give you 10 million quid a year. 10 million quid a year, right? That's 5 million or 4 million more than what he's already getting. He'll go, I'll come. He makes 2 good signings, 2 good acquisitions. It pays for itself in a heartbeat, does it not? Yeah, go on, Connor. Go on.
No, I was going to say the same. I mean, just on that point, though, about the manager facing, that is the nonsense about the Premier League for me. I think it should be the director of football who's coming out and answering a lot of the questions, because you get the managers come out and they're asked about transfers and they're asked about this, and they can never answer it. That's where the German league has got it right, to be honest. The directors of football in the Bundesliga talk to the press way more than they do for our football. But yeah, I mean, look, on the Langer thing, we need to as I said, that should have been their first move. As soon as Levy went after that summer, they should never have rehired Paratici. That was an absolute clown show, and they should have got rid of Langer then. And then you'd already have someone well in place, well in advance of this summer window. They're not going to get rid of Langer now that we're in the summer window, I don't think. So it's just an absolute mess again.
Just quickly, Connor, before I'll bring Hayden in, but just quickly, do you think that Johan, do you think that the reason why Tottenham insist that Johan Lang needs a co-director of football is because they implicitly know that he's not capable of doing all of the role, or because they think that no one's capable of doing all of the role?
Well, every other club has one, don't they? So
apart from a couple, right? And
there's a couple of
are
exceptions,
struggling as
but-
well relative to expectations.
Yeah. I mean, Arsenal have one, City have one, Liverpool have one, I believe. Yeah, so it must be about capability, mustn't it?
Yeah. What are you saying, Hayden? With regards to DOF, do you understand the logic that I'm trying to present? That like don't scrimp on that position. Like it's a relatively cheap position. It's almost like sitting there saying you spent £1,000 on a suit for your wedding, but you've only got 40 quid left over for the shoes, and you know the shoes maketh the man, right? You know, if you turn up to a wedding with a pair of trainers on, you're going to look like a bozo, but you save a little bit of money for the shoes because the shoes turn every outfit into a nice. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm drunk now, but you know what I'm saying.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
What on earth was that?
I do know what you mean. I do know what you mean. Like you got to spend.
Because wasn't your best?
You know what I'm saying? Can't take it away.
You should be spending money in the areas that are important, essentially, and you should be spreading it widely rather than just on the players. But I feel like the problem with that though is obviously like those wages, like $6 million a year, obviously aren't really anything in terms of the money that we generate and the revenue that we generate and everything like that, and compared to obviously what we pay some of our players. But I feel like when it comes to those positions, like everything's relative, isn't it? Like they'll look at how much other directors of football are earning and things like that. So that's probably, that's the thing that comes into play. But no, I completely agree. I feel like if there's an elite director of football out there that wants a considerable amount of money, and it's and we've got to go from a £2 million a year payment to a £4 million a year payment to get the right guy in, it's peanuts, isn't it? For all the decisions that he'll probably get right compared to if we have a donut in charge, which we do at the moment. As you just said, it pays for itself, and there's a couple of. I think Ranić would be unreal. I feel like after Austria, I don't feel like he's a manager, is he? He's like a director of football. He sort of gets things moving in the right direction in terms of higher up. I don't think he's like a manager per se, but yeah, Dougie Friedman's the other one, isn't it? Is he out of work?
No,
he's still in the league. He's still in the second division at Saudi. I don't think that their team came up last year, so I think he's still in the second division. But
I just mean, yeah, you'd like to think he might want to test himself.
He's probably getting paid a lot of money in Saudi though, Hayden. But like,
I think he's getting 4 mil tax free. I think I read. Now you say it jogs a memory. So yeah,
I think that's something like that you can.
It's about 7 mil English in it, really.
I think apart from your playing squad, if I'm hearing Donna Cullen's getting £6 million payoff, I'm thinking, what the fuck? If I'm hearing we've just paid £6 million to bring Dougie Friedman out of Saudi Arabia, I'm thinking money well spent.
Yeah, 100%. That's the thing, isn't it? And then aside from him though, to be fair, I'm not too well clued up on who else would actually come, who's available. Obviously, Paul Mitchell did an amazing job, but him and he was obviously a Spurs fan, and obviously him and Levy didn't get on, and that's the reason why he left. I think he literally came out with an interview, didn't he, and said it was the dream job, but it wasn't working for me or something. So that sort of alluded to one thing, but he would be great, but it's whether he'd come back. But aside from that, the Brighton guy, would he be all right? I don't know. He's only been there for 9 months, so probably not.
I don't think you can judge him at Brighton. I think you have to go and look at the Arsenal repertoire. And
they don't rate him, do they? Arsenal fans, I don't think.
Yeah, they didn't rate him, and he was basically like a yes man. You know, he came in as a video scout, like what Johan Lang eventually, or what Rob McKenzie was, and then he just like promotion, and was there for a long time. But let me ask you this. I'll bring in Hugo on this one, mate. Like you've worked in corporate world, right? I've worked. Probably a lot of us have. When you get to that ladder, you see there's a lot of pillowing of talent in between dog shit, and the dog shit people are usually the yes men, and the talent pillow themselves from the next threat by putting the yes man in to make sure that
the talent usually ends up relocating is what happens, right?
Yeah. So I don't know if this Jason Ato was any good or not, but from what I read, he is a bit of a corporate, just a schmoozer.
Yeah, inherently the people that play the game well, you know, end up in you know the most senior positions, and more times than not aren't terribly competent. And the ones that are competent, you know, don't want to be involved in playing the politics. And so they look for, you know, they just move to another opportunity, is what I've typically observed. What concerns me, though, about this board is bearing in mind the amount of compensation money that they're having to pay out at the moment, having flunked the last, you know, several appointments. Is it just... What you're saying about the DOF is absolutely spot on. Like, if you want to be serious about a DOF, you know, pay the proper money, and, you know, like, more times than not, you'll get what you pay for, right?
Yeah.
But in this board situation, knowing how much of a penny pinching organization it is, and let's be under no misapprehensions here, the only reason that De Zerbi got the money that De Zerbi got is because we were bloody desperate, because they realized that if they didn't bring in a proper manager, you know, we would get relegated, and they would lose, you know, not just the odd million, but not the odd 10 billion, you know, million, but like hundreds of millions, right?
Well, but Hugo, my point is, when all you hear about is like there's insufficient expertise in premium positions.
Yeah, but that's mate. It's all lip service.
No, I agree. It's all lip service. But if they really mean that, then they should look at the important positions. And
I completely agree with you. But the
most important, isn't it?
It's the most important. Like you've got like, outside of your playing squad, for me, it's obviously clearly manager number one, DOF number two, then assistant manager, then like head scout, and chief, whatever, right? But like, for me, DOF he's in charge of that whole thing.
Mate, I'm in complete agreement with you. I'm just saying, like,
and it seems like a cheap option. Like to businesses that bring in 600 million quid a year, 500 million quid a year, to pay the salary, which is 1% of your revenue, to a guy who is the best in class.
Mm-hmm.
To me,
Sean, put it this way: every league position is 3 million quid, right? So if you think that your director of football is going to result in you finishing higher in the league,
100%,
100%. I mean, it's a complete no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah, but then that's the theory. The practice is we are dealing with these owners who have penny pinched. You know,
but I don't think they don't penny pinch when it comes to managers. They never have.
Because half of the time
they're willing to pay.
That's out of desperation.
They penny pinch on
but that's what I'm saying. Like it's not rocket science. Like to me, if you're going to go and get a good manager, then obviously you need to go and get someone that knows how to find the players for the manager and has the relationships, has the network, has the little black book, and also, by the way, has the competencies and the capabilities to be able to communicate and figure out the right way to explain to the manager and the manager to explain to him. I need this. Yeah, cool. But the club needs that. Let's figure out a way that we can all do this together without there being friction. Look at Eddie Howe at Newcastle, right?
Yep.
Talented guy, talented manager, hated by every DOF he's ever worked with because he's just there's zero wiggle room. Is like a brick wall. It's my way. If you're not seeing it my way, fuck you. And it always ends in a disaster. And this guy's like self-sabotage because he doesn't know how to like communicate. And no one yet has found the DOF that can work with him to figure it out.
Yeah, his what's called the soft skills are shit.
Exactly. Exactly that, Hugo. Yeah, 100%.
Right. But what I'm trying to tell you is, and I completely agree with you, all of what you're saying about, like, logically, it would make sense that your second most important position at the club should be compensated for one of the top guys if you really want to move the needle.
I agree.
I'm just saying.
I think we're all in agreement. It's just whether or not
I'm just saying the reality is
listening and
at
do that.
Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, particularly under, like, you know, under these owners, that in that particular role, you know, particularly recently, they just refuse to spend the right kind of money to do that. And I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's because they're you know, having to.
Well, that's like, this is the litmus test, though, Hugo. Right? Like they come out with all this, like, we're going to figure it out. We're committed, not for sale.
Yeah. So why is the guy still in a job, Sean?
Well, this is the thing. If you're Vinay, surely it's the easiest win ever, isn't it?
Yeah.
100%.
Wouldn't you think to, like,
unify you go because you could say about Vinay's role, you could say, well, he has only been in. I don't agree with this, by the way, because I think he's made horrific decisions and he's not proven himself at all. But you could make the argument that he's only been in role since September. The sort of shifts and changes he's trying to make do take more time because you're trying to turn an oil tanker. Get rid of Langer, and he suddenly buys himself another 6 months, doesn't he? If he gets in some, you know, a competent 100%. Sporting director. It takes all of the heat off him. I mean, it's the old Levy special of getting rid of managers to do that, right? I don't get why he wants to stick by someone. He knows that the fans, there is not a single fan in the Tottenham fan base that would come out and say, I think Langer should keep his job.
Yeah, but I don't want him to. I 100% agree with you, right? It's an easy win, right? How often do you see universal consensus in the Tottenham fan base? You never do. We can't agree on Mathys Tel. We can't agree on Ben Davies. We can't agree on anybody, right? But everybody does agree on Johan Lang. So you'd think easy win. And I'm fine with that decision. I encourage it. But what I would say is that Vinay Venkatesham should not be making decisions based on fan base rhetoric.
Well, he should
come to that conclusion by himself because he's employed and earns a lot of money as someone that's supposed to be able to understand how to run a football club. We've got someone else joining us. Big up to you, Michael. Let me bring you in.
Yep.
But big up to you, Michael. But for me, like, I just say, he should be able to come to that conclusion by himself. But if he doesn't, and he needs a nudge, like if you've already run the AI tool, which you know that Chat Charrington and all the people did, like, let's go and read the sentiment of the room and the Tottenham fan base to come up with the catchphrases or the things we've got to call out for our little end of year.
The buzzwords.
Buzzwords. Well, also, did it not pop up in that sentimentometer kind of AI read? That maybe everybody thinks that Johan Lang is shit. If you haven't come to that conclusion by yourself, and I question your own like standards and your own levels of competence. And if you have, but you still haven't pulled the trigger, why? I don't know. It's interesting, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you've just finished 17th twice, right? So does that not tell you?
Yeah.
And
we're
also,
now losing 20 million quid in a sponsorship as a consequence and all that sort of stuff, right?
And I do agree with the sentiment generally that you shouldn't listen to fans, but equally, any business does need to listen to its customers as well. And if you think that he's both useless plus the fans despise him, it's like a double. You know, surely it's the no-brainer of no-brainers.
Well, I was going to say, bearing in mind that, you know, at the moment, the owners must realize that they are vilified and disliked, right? The easy wins. You've got De Zerbi, who the fans, you know, like, seemingly really like the fact that, you know, we finally got a decent manager that hopefully plays the right sort of football that we want to watch, and who seemingly, you know, is actually a coach and can get performances out of players, right? And he helped us, and we survived, you know, under his watch of, you know, whatever it was, 7-8 matches. So, like, it'd be the world's easiest when you're already starting to get the fans on side because you put the right manager in place. Like, it'd just be an easy win, man. Just like get rid of the lemon.
Well, they have to. Like, they can't sack someone unless they have a conclusion. I think, and I guess right now maybe the
contract's up at the end of June.
All right, well, maybe we'll see it at the end of June. Maybe they'll say we're not going to renew it. Let me quickly, guys. Let me just do some. Let me do some quick super chats because I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't realize these ones came in from 8:30 onwards, and we've been going for 2 hours since then. So super apologetic for everyone who's put the super chats in. Big up to you, Michael, for joining as well. By the way, mate, great to see you. But I haven't seen you for ages. Blaine, sorry, Blaine, mate, you put this one in 2 hours ago almost, or an hour and 45. So sorry, mate. He says Spurs fan tokens. Now, there's an idea. Spurs Talk Show tokens, which can be exchanged for brasses and bath salts. Sounds like a good Friday night, bro. What are we doing here? Well, what are we doing here? Let's get to the fucking token shop and let's convert some tokens. Albeit we don't want the hackers back. No, we don't want the hackers back. No, we don't. We definitely don't want them. What we do want, though, is everyone to join the Spurs Hub. It's listen, it's taking up a lot of time, but Spurs Hub is going to be fucking brilliant. I've got so many features to add. Every day I'm adding some more. So get over to the spurshub.co.uk. It's free to join. It will always be free for anyone who wants to just stay on the free level. And there's some awesome stuff coming for this season. So please join it. Big up to you, Blaine. Thank you so much, mate. And again, apologies for the delay in getting that one out there to you, mate. Marzi82, my man who never going to give you up. Never gonna let you down. The guy, he's like a 90s pop idol fucking profile pic. He's got his studio section going on. Tom Marzi. He says Brooklyn up on the skywalk with his decks pre-match. Now we're talking. We are talking. That would be a cool way to introduce yourself to the fan base. Big up to Tom. Thank you for the membership and for the ongoing support. A user says thoughts on links to Gakpo. I'm pretty sure we covered that since you put this up there, a user. So we all would like him. I think most of us would like him. Connor said he's not a massive fan, but he'd prefer him to possibly other people. But apparently it's not happening. Sites, our new guy, our new favourite ITK has said it's not true. Dimamek says, big up to you, says, can we get Brooklyn Eric on the Joe Rogan show? Yeah, if Joe Rogan emails him, he'll probably get back to him. When Sean Butler emailed him, he did get back. He promised me to give me the exclusive, and then suddenly I haven't heard shit from him for ages. So, he's no longer my tech DJ, but he will be to a degree. Big up to you. Big up to Dean Lord. Chudini. Big up to Chudini with the super sticker. Thank you very much, Chudini. I appreciate you, mate. How are you, buddy? Get your wife out to somewhere better than fucking Starbucks, mate. Take her out, bro. What are we doing, Chudini? Appreciate you, mate. Destiny. Big up to Desto. He says Levy will park his boat next to Lewis's boat on Monday. One of those. It's a big fuck you off. In the BVI. Big up to you, Desto. Thank you very much indeed. Dean Lives has become a new member. Big up to Dino. He's also become a new member for a second time. I guess that's an upgrade. Big up to you, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Looking forward to your participation in the channel. Big up to you, Dean. Mirage fan. Coys says, check Keishu Sano. I feel like I've checked that guy out before. I feel like I have, but I can't do it today. But thank you very much for the super chat, mate. But I feel like I have. I can't remember, though. I've checked a lot of players. Big up to Ulrika. Ratatata, Ulrika Karkar. She says, don't want Van Hecker. Spend the money up front. You don't want Van Hecker. Interesting. On the provision that Romero's leaving, I think Van Hecker is a very suitable replacement. And Ant London says, big up to you, Ant. He says, still in a bad mood. Lang is still here, and alongside new signings, my expectations for this season are tanking. The owners have zero clue. All right. I mean, it's a bit early to be tanking the expectations. Michael, welcome to the show, mate. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, lovely, mate. Getting married in 2.5 weeks. So.
Are you? Oh,
yeah.
Nice, man. Or commiserations. I don't know how we do this. Those that are married on the
that's per usual, right?
Commiserations, yeah. Where'd you go on your stag?
Here in Poland, I don't know if you know the place, so probably I don't know if it's
everyone in England goes to Poland for their stag do. If you live in Poland, why would you go anywhere else, right?
I mean, Zakopane. Maybe you've heard of it.
Yeah, you speak the language, you can negotiate the prices. Absolutely fantastic.
No, mate, I had a lovely time. We spent the whole weekend in like a mountainside cabin, I guess, like a house. We had jacuzzi, we had sauna, we had like
with girls.
Yeah, my guys and all the stuff, right?
Okay, yeah, just making sure.
Yeah, there were 16 of us, so quite a big one, right? But yeah, we had a paintball session in tanks, literal tanks. Like we were
Really?
driving around tanks and shooting each other with paintball balls. I have 44 bruises on me.
That sounds
What?
That's absolutely fantastic.
What were you firing? Like buckets of paint or?
No. So we had like a paintball gun. It was mounted on a turret, and it was just static, and we were just spinning around in turrets, driving tanks and shooting each other. So basically, like the only part that was visible was from here upwards, and of course we had masks, right? So you could pretty much only shoot someone in shoulders, face, ears, back of the head, and all that stuff, right? I will show you pictures later, right? It was lovely.
The world right now, right? The economy's doing this. Everyone's happy. And you know what? There's just not the same sort of laws around, like probably HR or whatever they call it. Like the health and safety regulations are not quite the same.
No. Everything was safe. Don't worry about it. Listen, bruises are part of paintball, no matter which version you choose, right? So
different. I feel like different levels of health and safety.
Maybe not. But Mikhail, what are we doing here, mate? Listen, you came in. You've heard a lot of conversation. I don't know how much we've been talking for 2 hours and 15 minutes. You can take the floor, mate. Where do you want to go with it? We're talking about Langer right now, but if you want to talk about Levy, where do you want to go?
The Levy stuff. I don't want to say that I kind of expected it, but I kind of did. Like, I don't know which way to put it, but I just guess that for me it was a logical step for him to get rid of his shares eventually. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but if you are under 30%, you don't have
under 25.
Yeah, okay. So it's under. So he was like 29%, right? And he sold just barely under 25%. So neither he nor the new guys have the ruling power. Let's call it that way, or their votes don't matter in making decisions, right? But I kind of expected that to happen. So listen, I'm not surprised. Am I happy? I'm not sure. Like, I think the happiness was when he stepped down as a director, because with all his pros and cons, I felt like we just needed a change. It wasn't necessarily because of him, but I just felt we needed a change, which for me, it's a good thing that it happened. And same way as you do, Sean, I don't necessarily trust this new version of Enic and all that stuff until they prove me otherwise, right? And listen, I was on Dan's show, I believe, and Mathys, when all the PR statements released, like from the Lewis family and Vinay and all the other guys, right? And I think vast majority of us, if not all of us, said we want actions, not words right now. And so far,
are you impressed, Michael, with Andy Robertson's through the door? We're expecting Senesi in the next 24, 48 hours. We're expecting maybe Savio before the World Cup. He didn't make it to the World Cup team. Van Hecker probably will take longer because he's on. So, like, it's not a bad start, right? Like, Stel was like, we'll wait and see. But, like, in terms of, talk is cheap, actions mean a lot. So far, it's not a bad summer, right? Not a bad
so far we are on the verge of words and actions, right? Because actions, we only took action with Robertson, right? Because he's the only one that we actually got through right now. I do understand that we will probably get Senesi done soon, and I am absolutely happy with that signing. And because I play a lot of fantasy football, and if you play fantasy football, you know that Senesi is an absolute beast when it comes to like defensive contributions and tackles and all that stuff. So I think he's a solid player to have as part of the squad. And same thing with Van Hecker. Like if we get him, I think in terms of center backs we are sorted, right? And are they as good as Romero? On his day, when Romero is on it, they aren't as good in my opinion. But if he's not on it, they are. I think they are more consistent than Romero, right? So I just feel like with Romero, it's done, right? He has to leave right now because there are too many bridges burned, right?
Michael, just quickly, I don't know whether this guy's any good. Like, I've had people messaging me going, Sean, you've got to stop giving this guy any airtime. He's a bullshit artist. I got no idea at all, but some people tell me he's the bollocks. Other people tell me he's a full of shit. I don't know. I just bring in content because content has to. But that's the important line. Tottenham Hotspur reached total agreement with Paul Manhecker. I don't know if it's any good or not. Are we? What are we thinking, guys? Is he a bullshit artist? You guys are all as familiar with Twitter as I am. Is he a load of shit or is he okay?
They're all frauds. Every single one of them. Every single one of them, mate.
Tel, you are participating in the transfer market stuff these days, mate. You can't carry on with that bullshit. You have to at least act as though it's doing something for you.
Have you watched any of my videos?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. The graphics are fantastic.
Do you listen to the start where I say we are linked to? Yeah. After that bomba, I say, I don't know what to believe. We are now linked to player 252. So let's get into this.
But listen,
until they wear the shirt. Until they're wearing the shirt.
SZY exclusive has emerged this summer as the guy to listen to. Hayden, am I wrong? Like SZY last season was like, everyone, I don't know about him. Now everyone's like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. Maybe Krish's next season's SZY. What are we doing here, Hayden?
I don't know if that guy is...
Based on what?
I don't know. It doesn't matter to me, mate, as long as the views come in. Stella, if you send me a message saying Tottenham's chances of signing Rafael Leao have improved incrementally, I go, that'll do. Send me a thumbnail. You know?
Yeah, I don't know if that guy is that reliable. I feel like he sort of says a lot of things and then goes back to the ones that he ends up being right about. Which is what I feel like.
That sounds like all of them.
Yeah, if you put out enough tweets, you can delete the ones that don't work out, and then you just retweet the ones that actually emerge, and then go, "See, I told you." Exactly. And then people buy into it. It's Twitter fame, you know.
But everyone seems to be, everyone seems to be believing this guy, and he even came up with like Savinio's wages, and I've seen he literally tweeted, he replied to someone earlier asking about Savinio, and he was like, yeah, don't worry, it's 100% done. So yeah, I don't know, mate. It's all a bit. I try not to believe. I try not to believe all these, accounts like that. But I love it.
Hey, the day that you start a YouTube channel, you'll start to follow them all, and you'll bring out you'll fucking accept notifications because the second one of them drops. Well, Connor messaged me earlier. Connor messaged me at 1:27 and went, Sean, Levy news, he sold his shares. What did I say to you, Connor? What did I text you back?
Fuck off.
I can't remember.
I texted back going,
what did you say? You were out, weren't you?
I'm out for lunch with my dad. Fuck!
Oh, yeah, fuck. I'm out for lunch. Bollocks. You almost fucked your old man off, didn't you? Cab straight home.
I went back in and I had my fucking club sandwich just being put down by the waitress. And I was like, Dad, do you mind if I go out and put out a shameless, quick 60-second update?
You owe us an apology as well for that.
I don't know you anything. What do you mean?
You put out your short video. Yeah, my guy's taking over, and your guy was Levy. Your guy was Daniel. Now you just flip-flopped on Levy. This is your guy, and then you ended
king is dead. Long live the king, baby.
Then you ended your flip-flop video, right? By saying, I've emailed my friend, the tech bro, my friend. I've emailed him. It turns out the whole thing was fake. So you've embarrassed the entire fan base emailing this guy for nothing. You apologise, man.
Oh, I've emailed him. I haven't heard back from him on the email, but I did get
because he hasn't bought any shares.
We don't know that.
I think tomorrow morning, just a gentle guys. Look, I overreacted. Apologies. Sorry, everyone.
Still,
I'll email the tech bro and say this and that. That email shouldn't have done it. Sorry, on behalf of all the Spurs fans, I didn't mean that.
What are we doing here? Listen, Michael, I interrupted you, mate. I'm sorry, bro. What's your well? Listen, we spoke about Daniel Levy. We're speaking about Johan Lang and the DOF thing. We won't be going for too much longer, guys. We've been going for a long fucking time tonight. But what's your stance, Michael, on the DOF situation? Is it worth dropping an absolute left bollock on getting someone in that is a needle mover in the DOF role? Because for me, I think that it's worth your bollock. It's like that. That's the driver. You give someone like a Ralph Rangnick or insert someone else there, You give that guy the keys to the kingdom and you get them to work well with a De Zerbi. Everything else takes care of itself. The club generates enough money. It's just how you spend it and who spends it. You get the right you get the right dynamic duo. You get Batman and Robin in the DOF and the managerial role. If they're friends and they can work together, great things can happen.
Yeah, listen, I've always said that for me to run a club properly, you need to have like some sort of a vision and some sort of a target established by a footballing structure, right? And for me, you start that by employing a DOF who just takes everything that's wrong about your club, fixes it, right? And then puts his own pieces inside, right? Maybe we kind of did it like kind of reverse way where we got Roberto De Zerbi first, but I have my full faith in Roberto De Zerbi. I think he's a wicked coach, and I am so happy that we have him, right? But I think we need to. I think this guy has the eye for players, right? And he knows exactly what he needs. That's at least how it looks for me, right? And I think a good DOF just works with a manager and gets players that suit the manager's system, right? And as you said, I think in that case, everything just starts falling together. Or like put just the Rubik's Cube just starts solving itself, right? And I think we have plenty of like examples in world football where let's just listen. I know that's an extreme example, but let's take PSG as one, right? Like PSG, they've been all over the gaff, right? They didn't know what their identity was. That they didn't know what the plan was, right? They tried just splashing money on random shit, right? And it never stuck to the wall. And then at one point that they decided that they will appoint a different manager and appoint a different DOF and let them work together and let them restructure and rebrand PSG as a whole. And honestly, from a club that I absolutely hated, right? And I always wished PSG the worst, right? I actually started enjoying watching them. I started like cheering on them, right? And they are an enjoyable club to watch. Let's
only an enjoyable club, mate. Let's be honest. They've got some of the
sports washing aside, right? But I'm just talking purely like from football perspective, right?
Yeah. Okay.
They are seriously like an enjoyable bunch to watch, right? Yeah. And it all started working, right? After they trusted the manager and trusted the DOF. And I feel like we have the manager part sorted. We just need a DOF, and I don't trust Johan Lang to.
Okay, so who's your DOF?
That, right?
In all likely, like as much as you could go and offer 10 million quid to the PSG man, you're not going to get him, right? You're not. He's probably going to sit there and go, yeah, whatever. But,
this is the issue, Charlotte. I don't really know the DOF market. I'm just like
I don't think many of us
theories.
I don't think.
Yeah, I'm just spouting theories. I just feel like the theory works, but I don't know who can fulfill that role, right?
Let's look at the teams that that generate value beyond their means, right? Benfica is always a team that does super well with their DOF, with their trading strategy. Sporting's very impressive. Brugge is very impressive. Leipzig's very impressive. Bournemouth's very impressive. Brentford and Brighton are very impressive, but how much of that is the person versus the model, I don't know. Outside of that, I'm not too familiar in Italy. I'll be honest, I'm not too familiar, right? I really not. So,
you know what? My feeling, I've always looked at football, right? That there is like 15 clubs that are of elite status, right? Which is like your AC Milan, Inter Milan, Bayern, like the big five from England, except for us. And the big three in Spain, PSG, right? Those clubs, and Juventus. And I think those clubs just operate in their own world, I would say.
It's easier for some of them because...
Yeah, but what I meant to say, right, next, I feel like Spurs, Borussia Dortmund, like Roma, those clubs, I feel like we are just the tier below.
Yeah.
And for me, Bournemouth, Brighton, like Sporting, are tier below that, right?
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know if it was you, Connor, or one of the other guests who said that Spurs cannot operate like Brighton or Bournemouth, right? Because those clubs just operate on a basis where they are a stepping stone club, right? They can take a risk and buy like 10 different random players for 20 mil, which Brighton have been doing for past 3 years, and 5 of them stick and they sell them for 50 million, right? And this is the basis that they build their club on, right? I feel like unfortunately or fortunately with Spurs, we are at a point where we want to make a jump from that second tier that I described to the first tier, right? And I don't think you do that by behaving like Bournemouth or Brighton or even like Sporting Lisbon. I know those clubs are successful, Sporting Lisbon, Lisbona, and BVB, and even like Roma or Lazio. I know they are successful, but still, like, I do believe that we need to kind of assume a little bit of a different approach. We need to kind of flex our muscles, right? And we need to not only buy players for the future and for a sell-on value, but we also need to sort what we have right now. And I think we have the financial capability to do that, right? So, and I don't believe that Johan Lange can oversee that change, right? So it's kind of difficult, because I would assume that if we took like a sporting director from, I don't know, like Newcastle or Aston Villa, or, as I said, Borussia Dortmund, or like Roma maybe, I feel like they would know what it means to be a club of our size. Whereas I think with like guys from Brentford and Brighton, and we saw that with Chelsea, who took like all the stuff from Brighton and it didn't work for them, right? So like, I kind of have a feeling that we need to.
Would you go and get someone like a Monchi? I know he left Aston Villa and he's gone back to Spain, but like, I know I understand exactly what you're saying, Michael. Right? For me, like, if you can't get Louis Campos, and you go, okay, if it's not him, if it's not Ralph Rangnick, these guys have got brands that are that big, and you kind of go, well, it's, when they're available, if they are available, it's not just money that's going to be the deciding factor. It's like there's going to be competition. But I think when you look at Borussia Dortmund, when you look at like the Sebastian Kills, like these guys have a different recipe, a different mandate for what they're doing in German football. Same sort of thing in Portugal, right? Like, you might know the Portuguese market, but how many of those players are really going to be ready for the Premier League? I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know what the answer is here. But I think that with Tottenham, as always, there's this unique, very, very nuanced model where Tottenham have got all of the money relative to the other teams out there in Europe. But in the Premier League, having all the money is not the same as having the draw of trophies. And I don't know. It's like you're knocking on Fort Knox every year. Tottenham are the team knocked as much as they did, but couldn't break through the door of Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, City, and United. And so, like, I feel like whatever that recipe is, I feel like it's very specific. And I don't know enough about DOF to know who that guy is around Europe, because I don't think that any experience is particularly relevant.
Yeah, so for me, that there is 2 paths we can take, right? Either we redesign Spurs, and we as a fan base redefine our expectations, right? And we accept the fact that we are not big six, right? Even though we match them financially, we do not have the same ambition, and we just do I don't want to say a reset, but we just assume an approach where we buy players for the future, and we lower our expectations, and we accept the fact that we will buy a lot of players.
That's never going to work.
Which is never going to work, right?
Yeah.
Or we stick to trying to knock on the door, as you said, and we finally find a way to knock the door down, right?
In order to do that, then you need to go after a Louis Campos or someone like that.
Or someone like that, right?
You go after someone with that kind of gravitas, and you need to let them have the keys to the kingdom. Yeah. And I agree with Stel. Stel always talked about Ralph Rangnick. I agree. Louis Campos, for me, like I said,
he's weak at Rangnick. I think.
And Louis Campos is earning £6 million at the best club in Europe, right? But like, would he leave and come to Tottenham for £10 million? And like, well, £12 million, whatever, right? But like, you double his money, someone's going to come, as long as there's money behind it. And to me, like, that's the trigger, because the extra the 12 million quid or whatever. I don't know. Like, to me, it's just like it's a sunk cost. You pay that every year for a manager. We paid that to Conte. We probably paid something similar for Mourinho. We're certainly paying something like that for De Zerbi. without the final ingredient, which is a DOF that can. To me, it's like, okay, 25 million quid a year for one of the best managers and the best DOF. They can work together, and then their contacts, relationship, and network can build a 5-year project. To me, that pays for itself, as you said earlier, Connor, by moving up the table 10 places in the league.
Yeah. Quickly, I felt like we kind of had that with Paratici, right? Because he came from Juventus, and Juventus are like, not to say something, but I feel like personally they are the biggest club in Italy, right? Or the second or the third one, depending on Inter, AC Milan, whatever, right? But I felt like that when we took a sporting director from Juventus, right, that he understood what it means to be a big club and how a big club should behave. And for that short period of time where Paratici, before his ban, right, I felt like Paratici started to like reshape our club to tackle the door knocking, as you said, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, unfortunately, he got banned, right? And I felt like we at that point got a little bit confused because I never felt like the club.
That man fucked us up for sure.
Yeah, I never felt like the club had the balls to actually fire Paratici and find someone else to be his replacement, or find someone else of the same status, right? And we just fucked about with lunch and all those like different
Scottman,
like half measures, yes, Scottman and all that stuff, right? Whereas I think at that point we should have either. Not either. Actually, we should have fired Paratici and just found someone else, right? Because at least that's how I felt. But for that short period of time, I actually think Paratici was doing a relatively good job. I'm not saying he was wicked. I'm not saying he was Luis Campos or whatever, right? But I felt like with him, we could change as a club, right? Whereas with Lange, I feel like Lange, even though he came from Aston Villa, right? Which we discussed Monchi, right? Monchi is the guy who was at Aston Villa. I would take Monchi, but Lange, I know he came from the same place, but he got replaced by Monchi, if I remember correctly, right?
Michael?
Yeah, Monchi wasn't.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go for it, sir.
When you first started speaking, you said that you trust De Zerbi. He's got an eye for a player, right?
Yeah.
The first signing we've made is a player that Lange wanted when Thomas Frank was manager, not De Zerbi. So this is a club signing. So
perhaps.
how can we trust De Zerbi if he does that? Like, I like De Zerbi. I the day we signed him, every channel I went, I said this is a proper manager. Finally, but I think he's falling into the trap of the yes man, and I really thought that he might not be that guy, just like Conte wasn't. But to accept Robertson when, I know, look, some people in the chat get upset by this because they just want an echo chamber. They can't handle different opinions. I'm going to bring a different opinion because I'm not going to give an echo chamber. But Lange tried to sign Robertson for Frank. Robertson would have been a Spurs player if, what's the left back at Liverpool? Is it Kirkes? I forgot his name. Kirkes. Kirkes never got injured and Robertson had to play, he would have come to us. So now he's come to us. It feels to me this was wanted before De Zerbi. So how
I feel like it depends on how you value the Robertson signing, because I know we differ in that regard, where you say that it's like basically a waste of time, whereas I think Robertson will be a useful signing for 2 years. So and it also depends, like, how should I put it? Because I don't think signing Robertson is a bad idea, right? And at least I choose to believe. I never spoke with Udogie, right?
Michael, it's not about what I want. It's about what the club have done.
Yeah, but
regardless of who the manager is.
Yeah, so my point is that at least I choose to believe that they asked De Zerbi if he's okay with signing Robertson, and maybe he shares the same opinion as I do, right?
So if Ben Davies gets a new contract, will you say the same thing?
So that Ben Davies thing, like I feel like they are just keeping him because he's happy to be there and to be the
book club guy, right?
Option, right?
But again, if he does sign a new contract, De Zerbi's signing off on it.
Yeah.
Stel, you are looking for reasons to be miserable on this one.
I'm happy. Look.
No, you're not happy.
No, I live in a safe country. I pay low taxes. I don't have a government that's.
You might be happy in life. You might be happy in life, and congratulations if you are. You're part of the few. But I feel like you definitely want to point to the reasons to believe that Tottenham haven't changed. I think that your agenda is.
They haven't, have they? They haven't. If I'm going by what I'm seeing, right? Forget the gossip. Forget the content's got a content, and forget the.
But the gossip about Robertson turned out to be true. If tomorrow the gossip about
exactly, so that's why I'm talking about this one, because we now have facts, right? The signing we have made, the only signing we have made, is a player who the club wanted 6 months ago.
Yeah, and if the gossip turns out to be true about Senesi, that's a good one, right?
Well, then we come back on the show and we have that conversation, but we can't because that's not fact.
Yeah,
the fact is Robertson has been signed, and Land wanted him 6 months ago.
Yeah, but still, if the
second announcement is Ben Davies signing a new contract.
Okay, wait.
If the Serbia
bit, right? One second, Mike. I just want to get Connor hasn't said a word in about fucking an hour and a half.
Yes, sorry, Connor.
He's been sat there with his fucking Jack Sparrow fucking beard going.
I was enjoying the chat from Danny Kay. It's obviously I'm trying to look like him. That's what it is. I'm going to grow a ponytail next.
Connor, are you of the same mindset that Stel is, which is like, I don't believe it until I see it, and even then I'll find a reason to still neg it?
No. Don't, that bit at the end, that little caveat you whack in there.
You know what we do here, Stel.
I think there's.
Do you know what? From now on, Connor, let's call him Small Print Sean.
Small print, Sean. Yeah. I think there is some truth.
I've been called a lot worse.
I bet you did.
Small something, yeah. No, I think the Ben Davies one for me is absolutely baffling. I can't get that at all. I can't. Robertson, I'm just about getting my head around, but I'm.
Connor, can I give you one reason for Ben Davies? Because I think homegrown.
Well, you've got 24 kids.
We don't have worries. Yeah, but we're in Europe now. We don't particularly have worries with homegrown in the Premier League. So
you still have
to go and sign an Englishman that's good. Do you know?
Yeah, you have to have. If you want 25 places, you have to have 8 homegrown, right? Even in the Premier League. So, but I guess they are just signing him as a squad filler. That's the way I look at it, right? I'm not happy about it, but I think that's a reason why they are doing
for me,
it, right?
like all of these rules, you got rules about homegrown. You got we need leaders. For me, it's sign quality, and hopefully they come with those things as well. I want footballers that know how to play football on the pitch, right? So and you hope that they're leaders as well. I think you can get both, right? I
think they will sign an extension with him, and he will play like 50 minutes next season. That's the way I see it, right? And he will just be a bench warmer, squad filler. Like, we probably won't even be seeing him on the bench if the squad is like at least mostly fit, right? That's the way I look at it.
I think Senesi is a very good move. I think if they get Senesi, I think that's a good signing. I like Van Hecker as well.
It's a very good
and look, I think we're all realistic about the fact that unfortunately we missed the boat to strike when the iron was hot under Poch, when we could have, attracted top talent. We're now in this stage where we're going to have to build slowly. We're not going to get players that the rest of the big six are in for. But Sean's chairman, yes. But what we are going to have to do is we're going to
the most successful chairman ever, if he ends up walking away with that 650 million, right? The most successful employee and part owner ever in the Premier League.
Most successful for who?
For himself.
For who?
I'm delighted for him.
Exactly.
Well, you name me a successful person in life that wasn't successful for themselves more than they were for the successful.
I agree.
It can be both, can't you? It can be both.
He was successful with Tottenham Hotspur, mate. What are we doing here?
Oh, I can't do this chat.
Are you starting that at 10 to 11, Sean? We're
not starting that. Listen, guys, you know what? It's probably the perfect time. But it's been going for 2 hours and 43. I only thought I was going to do 45 minutes, to be honest. I thought I'd squeeze in quick 45 before the weekend started. Is there any other topics? I mean, if you guys have got more energy to carry on, we can carry on. But I don't know if it's a good time to round off. But Daniel,
I joined like 40 minutes ago. I am full of energy.
Can I a quick question then? Quick question to all of you. From all the links, rumours, verbal agreements, interested in all the usual transfer gossip jazz. If there's one, just one, not two or one out of the rumours that you could say, right, get him into Tottenham, which of the rumours would you put to the top of the list?
Of the realistic rumours?
Let's assume none of them are realistic until they come, right? Just
but you
fair enough. No, you're right. Realistic.
I'm going to spend 2 minutes before I answer your fucking question, bro. I'm going to spend 2 minutes calling you out because you came on the show tonight saying, Butler, when are you going to apologise to all your viewers and the Tottenham fan base for jumping ahead of the curve with the Daniel Levy going out thing? And by the way, I was long of 3 beers at lunchtime. I saw the news and I went, shit, I've got to put something out, so I put it out of short. You have spent the best part of the last year that I've known you on Spurs 5. Every single time there has been a transfer link, you have said, it's all bollocks, guys. It's all bollocks. And then under my instruction, under my suggestion to you, Stel, if you want to make some money and if you want to grow your channel, bro, you've got to get on board the summer transfer links. You've then gone and built out fucking agentic AI, 15 different versions of graphical overlays and all this stuff. You spent the last 24 hours out of every 24 hours alive doing this stuff. You are buying into the shamelessness that you have ridiculed for the last year that I've known you. When are you going to apologize, Stel? When will you apologize for your shamelessness? Or do I have to call you out on a specific video to do so? I need an apology, and we need one now, Stel. We need one now. Were you wrong about the shamelessness, or are you just being a shill? What are we doing here?
First of all, I admit that every piece of transfer content I put out is absolute bollocks. Right? I admit every piece of content I put out is absolute nonsense links, and I believe none of the links. I believe in the analysis on the player that I do, but not that we're linked to them. None of it. Right? So I'm not apologizing. Right? Admit it. Secondly, I had to put up with 6 months of you putting up this silly WhatsApp chat where I said Moani was shit and you lot kept coming for me every single month. By the time we got to March, all of you were like, yeah, Moani's shit.
Look 6 months just happened. My man was totally cooked. His waffle, simply awful. You've been stinker and hooked.
See, I don't get to push that button. I could have pushed it 3 times tonight.
You can log in this way. You can do it. You can still do it if you want to.
No, it's your show. I don't want to push it.
It's fine. It's fine. It's all good fun. It's all good fun.
By the way, all I asked was one question. If you could pick one player, and Sean just fucking goes in on me.
I've had one. I've had a few beers now. If I could pick one player that Tottenham have thus far been linked with and make it happen, I would say I would like Tottenham to be signing. The shamelessness of the link is very ridiculous, but I would probably say I don't even know. We haven't even been linked with that many superstars, to be honest. We haven't even had shameless links to that many. I'd probably say Adam Wharton. Adam Wharton.
Yeah,
Bruno Guimaraes, obviously.
Yeah.
Bruno Guimaraes.
Either of them two, if you're going outrageous.
If you just completely like...
Yeah, it's got to be Guimaraes, yeah.
Well, so you would all go Guimaraes?
Yeah.
All day long and twice on Sunday.
Do you know, of all the analyses I've done, there's one player, hands down for me.
You're going to say Rafa Leao, aren't you?
No. There's one player for the last 3 years, all his metrics that define him are all on an upward trajectory, and he's now hitting that age where he needs to go to a big club and take it to the next level, and it's all upwards trend for him, and that's Van Heck. Van Heck, honestly, all his stats that make him the player that people are looking at him. Yeah.
Well, you were complaining earlier that he's not fast enough.
No, I said if you sign a player like Van Heck or Senesi or Robertson.
And by the way, it's Van Hecker. Van Hecker. So your analysis hasn't learned how to pronounce his name.
What the heck? What I said was, if you all the defenders we're linked with all have 2 weaknesses. 1, they lack pace, and 2, they're all pretty bad in the air. Aerially, they're all pretty poor. So But as a ball playing out and out at the back player that builds up the play, pushes into the middle, gets those accurate passes into the final third, and has goals in him, he's the most upward trajectory player of all of them.
I hear you, but you're saying right now you'd rather pay 50 million for Van Hecke, or you'd say fuck Bruno Guimaraes for 80 million, which I think was the link. The specific question that you asked was, of all of the players we've been linked with, which one would you want? Bruno Guimaraes was never going to happen, but we were linked with him briefly.
I'm saying
the guy that came out with the link, our new favorite ITK Sizzy exclusive, he came out on his second Twitter handle, which was Sizzy Comp, saying, "Yeah, I kind of regret putting that link out, to be honest."
What, Van Hecke?
No, on Bruno Guimaraes.
On Bruno Guimaraes.
No, Bruno Guimaraes is like 1,000 times the midfielder that Van Hecke is the defender. What are we doing?
But Van Hecke is 25, and he's a player you can build a project with. So do you remember when Arsenal signed Saliba? And then
he was 19.
He was younger. He went on loan for a couple of years and he came back. But he's become the foundation block of that team, right? I think, look, I could be wrong. It's just my view. I think signing Van Hecke is the foundation blocks of building that team.
Still,
I honestly, I get Guimaraes is a top player. I'd want both, but we could build a foundation with him. That's why I'm saying it.
But right now, one of an actual reasonable, realistic signing in Van Hecke, which is, I think Van Hecke will happen. I genuinely think it will. It'll be 50 million, which I think is punchy.
He's really good, guys. He's really good.
He's a class player. He's a class centre back. He's a class centre back.
Really good.
But he's not of the same level of Bruno G. Still.
Bruno G is fucking a midfielder moves the needle for us more as well. That can control the tempo and be ball playing midfielder for me. That's why if I had the choice between Van Hecke and Walton, I'd pick Walton as well.
All day long, Walton. All day long, Bruno G. All day long.
But I do really rate Van Hecke, to be clear.
Same.
I do.
Yeah. So it's views and opinions, right? I'm doing it on the basis of I think that he's a player you can build the foundation blocks of the team upon. I'm thinking about a 5-year project, not someone that comes in 2-3 years. I'm thinking someone that will be here for 5 years and give a basically.
Look at that. Newcastle United's win rate without Bruno Guimaraes is less than 20%.
Mate, he's a top player. I would love him at Tottenham, but what made Tottenham so good under Poch was Vertonghen and Alderweireld at the back and then building forward.
Yeah.
The two Belgian boys. Now imagine we signed Van Hecke, Dutch, next to Van der Ven, Dutch, the two Dutch boys. We could build something off the back of that.
Yeah, and Van Hecke's communication, by the way, is one of his, like, when people talk about like the mentality side, it's not just about whether you can handle it yourself, it's whether you can communicate your. Romero doesn't say shit to anybody, right? He's a bit of a lunatic, but he doesn't really communicate. Van Hecke is a communications champion. Listen, if we sign Van Hecke, I'm incredibly impressed with our window. I wanted him all through 2026. Delighted with it. But I put Van Hecke in the realistic outcomes box. I put Adam Wharton, I put Bruno G, I put anyone like that, Elliot Anderson, I put any of those guys in the never going to happen box. And if one of them ever comes off box, then
I would say Wharton's a little bit closer than the others on that one. Because who else is Wharton going to go to?
Well, that's an interesting. That's interesting. So Liverpool. So I always thought there was 5 names that were in the Premier League that were touted as big moves. One was João Gomez. He's ended up going to Atletico Madrid. One was Elliot Anderson. One was Adam Wharton. One was Mateus Fernandes from West Ham, who's I'd take him all day long as well.
Link with United, yeah.
Would you?
But Manchester United, Liverpool, and Man City all need one of those sorts of players. City looks like Elliot Anderson's going to go to, right? Which meant that Morten Hulman is all of a sudden available. And I can't believe that Tottenham aren't stepping up on that one because Hulman now is linked to Everton and Everton are like odds-on favourite to get him. And I think we can compete with Everton, personally. I think we can and actually win. I take Hulman as a replacement for Polinia, but forget about them. If Gomez is going to Atletico Madrid and United are going to get Ederson from Atalanta, which again at 30 million quid is a
plus
steal.
Fernandes as well, aren't they? They're linked with Fernandes from West Ham.
They want to get Fernandes.
Yeah,
But then you've got
Ederson is the top bloke.
Then you've got Adam Wharton, which is the last one out, the odd one out, and then you go, well, who's going to go? Where's he going to go? And Liverpool are interested in him.
Liverpool's the risk, but I think there's something you could sell to Wharton. You go, how old is he? 22, 23?
23, yeah.
23,
Like
You go to him, we're going to build the team around you 3 or 4 years, and then you can go, somewhere when you're 27.
Quickly,
still,
guys, right? Quickly, because like Stel, by the way, like I think Van Hecke is wicked, right? The reason why I didn't say Van Hecke, because I kind of treat, as similar to Sean, I treat it as like a possible, probably will happen signing, right? Judging on all the rumors that are around there, right? But if I were to pick one midfielder, which I think is of a similar quality to the ones that we just discussed, and I don't know why nobody is talking about him. For me, it's Felix Nmecha from Borussia. I think he's Felix Nmecha.
Yeah, Felix. Yeah.
Felix, right?
Nemeka was really poor when he came to Tottenham, though. Like when he played it in the Champions League, he's got a massive.
Yeah.
I remember I did a load of due diligence into him around January because we were linked with him, and he's got this. He was the next big thing. He was like thought of at Dortmund like the English lad who went to
Jude Bellingham. Right?
Bellingham. He was like that sort of level. But he hasn't really done it, and he's been at Dortmund a fairly long time now. And when he came to play at Tottenham, I was like really I was like, oh, he's the threat.
Against us, I agree. Against us, I agree. But I watched a couple of Borussia games last season, right? And I've been impressed with him every single time. And by the way, there is one striker from Bundesliga. Every fucking time I watch this guy, he's scoring goals, right? And it's Patrick Schick from Leverkusen. The Czech guy.
Yeah. Patrick
How old is he
Schick.
now? Is he 31?
30. Yeah, he's 30, right? I think he's a wicked player, but
I'll take Patrick Schick,
yeah, I would take him over any of our forward three, right? But it's just that he's 30. I don't think the club will sign him, right? And I'm not sure if he would leave Leverkusen for us, right? But
if you could pick one dream player who is realistic dream, as in there is a possible way, but most probably not going to happen, who would you pick? A dream player.
Marmoush
from Man City.
That's interesting.
For me, it's Akalouche, man.
Oh, yeah. Also, we.
I think that's a dream. I think that is realistic. I think you could go and do that, but I think that Monaco are going to wait.
I think he's going to go PSG.
You reckon
him too? Jesus Christ! How many
he's not PSG level. No chance he's PSG level yet.
Akalouche is a fantastic football player. Man.
Quality player. I think that they're gonna wait. Monaco will probably sell him in the summer, but they're gonna wait until after the World Cup and then probably see if they can get 75 versus. We could have got him. I think
we could have got him in January. I think we could have got him in January
for 50, right?
100%
gone for it.
And that's where
we had to get Sousa in though, mate. We had to get Sousa in.
No, you're right. No, because Johan Lang and whoever it was sitting there thinking that we could go and get Paqueta from.
Kudus is coming back. It was all that bollocks, wasn't it?
All that bollocks, right?
Mate, the audacity to sit there. Yeah, the audacity to sit there, right? And so sorry.
I remember.
I'm sorry. Go
on, Michael. Go on. Sorry, mate.
No. I'm saying with Flange, right? The audacity to sit there and tell all of us that this guy just sat there and told us all with a straight face that we don't need players because they are coming back from an injury. After we lost 7 players in January,
the market. So there's nobody in the market that can move our needle that improves us. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? You can't find a single person, a single player that's available in the entire market in January that moved the needle when we all knew that Ademola Lookman was available.
Ryan,
exactly. And
he's still here at the club, guys. He's still here running the transfers. Still here. The same guy that said, no. There's no one out there. Nearly got us relegated, that decision of his. And he's still here.
You know what, Stel? If he's still here, I don't even know.
And then this guy wants me to apologise.
Listen, we'll have a moratorium on apologies, right? You want me to apologise for putting out a short video at 1 o'clock when I was 3 beers deep with my dad? about the Levy thing. I'm not going to apologise for that. You can. I still expect you to apologise for the relegation, the delegation thing. But
Why? I was right. I said the only way to get rid of him is relegation. We stayed up. They're all staying here now. They're going to carry on this.
If Johan Lang is still here on July the 1st, if what Hugo was saying is true, that on June 30th his rolling contract expires. If that, I've never heard that before. If that's true and he's still here July the 1st, then I've got serious questions. Because
no. Then you've got to apologise. I want a written letter of apology, the whole shebang, everything.
I will apologise, mate, when you shamelessly shut down your channel for all of the false, the horrendous takes that you've had over the last 6 months on Spurs.
What?
Rooting for delegation. Rooting for delegation is a perfect example of one. I mean, it didn't work out.
Still got Lange here, as I predicted. I said, if we stay up, this guy ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he would have been gone had we gone down.
They would have all been gone because they would have got the club relegated.
Listen, we can have this argument as long as we
want.
Matter,
look, we're here. We're here now. We're in the Premier League. It's the De Zerbi era. Hopefully,
are you happy we're up? Are you happy we're staying up now? Are you happy we're up? You happy we're making business happen?
I couldn't give a shit.
And there you go, guys. Get over to
happy when we sign Van Hecker. Be happy when we sign Van Hecker.
For the biggest false, the biggest fake transfer news, views, and clues videos you're ever going to see. He's sitting there with all the graphics overlaying. It looks fantastic, but in reality, he doesn't believe a fucking word of it.
I believe everything in my analysis, and my verdicts are on point. My verdicts are the best in the business, but the links to the players are horrendous. They're absolute nonsense.
Yeah. Connor, Sean, what would be your answer to Stel's question, by the way? Like the dream but realistic signing? Because for me, Marmoush for Akliush, right?
Marmoush would be a good one, Michael. That'd be a good one.
Dream realistic or unrealistic signing?
I don't want to sound like a broken record. It'd still be Adam Wharton for me. I love ball playing midfielders anyway, like Xavi, Modric, that type. And I think Wharton is similar-ish mould to that, where you just control the tempo, punch the ball through the lines. And when I've been watching Pape Sarr pass the ball for the last couple of years, I just need a midfielder who can pass.
Fucking sell that Roadrunner, please.
Because for me, like Sarr is actually the worst passing midfielder I've seen in my life of supporting Tottenham. Like worse than Stefan Freund.
Palinia is a fucking maestro compared to him.
I reckon I'd probably go for
Muani is available.
It has to be a midfielder. If we're talking about like dream world, but like unrealistic are included in that, then I'd go to Adam Wharton. For me, is I don't think Elliot Anderson's ever even plausible, but I actually think Mateus Fernandes is probably a better player than Adam Wharton. So I'd probably go to West Ham and drop serious money to get that. I'll tell you someone else. We're not linked with him, but we've been linked with him a little bit. But I actually think this guy would be a massive needle mover for me. Would be Jarrod Bowen. I'd love to see Jarrod Bowen. And I actually think that's not unrealistic as well. I think Jarrod Bowen off the right or in the 9 alongside Savinho in the left, because we don't know what Kudus' injury is like. I'd love to see Jarrod Bowen come in, experience, a proper wind-up merchant. I think Jarrod Bowen, he's got goals in him. He's got assists in him. We need players on the peripheral that can create output, and we don't have that. That's the biggest problem. Everyone's happy with signing £50 million Savinho. The geezer's got 2 goals in 58
I'm not.
Right, but if you don't like Savinho, the reason why you don't like Savinho is because he's a winger that doesn't create output. Then if that's your criteria for not wanting Savinho, because on the input factors, on the kind of like the eye test and stuff, he looks delicious, right? But he just doesn't create anything. Okay, cool. So you want something different than that. Jarrod Bowen is the guy that's something different.
Yeah, like my thinking with Savinho is that if we sign him, we also need to sign a goal-scoring striker, like a guy that will bag you 20,
100%,
right?
Yeah.
Because and same
Kudus don't score many either, does he?
Kudus doesn't score either, right? So you would have 2 wingers that just are all about creating chaos and assisting, and you are going to supply fucking Solanke, Like,
Well, and you'd have to pray that Maddison stays fit because Maddison will
Yeah.
get you 10 goals, right? If he
Yeah.
stayed fit. So, I mean, that
so
that could be a big move for us this year, right? In terms of Maddison being back. For me, I think Maddison's a great player. I think he got
I think we
underrated by
should sell
Spurs
him,
fans.
Connor. I think we
So,
should
yeah,
sell him.
because of injuries, is that
Yeah.
your?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
as
you
a-
know
I think
what?
we can get
You
a
rate
year.
him
I
as a
think
player,
we can get
right?
a year,
You can't-
and
you
I would
can't
sell
No,
him.
as a player, he's fantastic. As a player,
Sell
he's
Maddison this
Yeah,
summer. You want to
brilliant.
sell Maddison this summer?
Sean, do you know what I want? I want the Zerbi to clean it out. Clean out this entire club, hit the reset button, keep a handful of players that have got the next 3-4 best years ahead of them. Like Van der Ven, who's 26, he's got a good 3-4 years ahead of him, and build
Right,
a new
okay, but
Tottenham.
Who of the 10 people in our front line? Kulusevski, Odegaard, Tel, Xavi Simons, Maddison, Solanke, Richarlison, Will Lancashire, Dane Scarlett,
Udogie.
like
Mikey Moore.
Mikey. You can make the argument that they all got to go, but you can't. You literally can't do that. So, like, some people have got to stay. Madison is the fit one of all of them. He's not necessarily.
I get it.
But like
We're
Madison,
not
you
going
can't say Madison.
We're not. You know, you're right. We're not going to clear it all out in one window. But I just think Maddison. What is the point? He gives you a third of a season every year. He's been like this for it was 5 years at Leicester. He was like this. 2 years, 3 years, whatever at Tottenham. He's the same. It's just we are carrying him, but because he's so good, we're emotionally against the idea of getting rid of him because but it's Maddison. But he doesn't. He hardly plays for us. So
I would sell Maddison.
No, Europe helps,
next
I
summer.
think.
Yeah, I would sell Maddison
Great
but
point,
next
Connor.
summer.
yeah.
No Europe is a mass. No Europe. Sorry, guys.
No Europe
Really,
helps with
Connor,
Maddison.
go on, Connor. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Go on,
going to say with Maddison, I think no Europe helps. I think it helps massively, and I think I mean for me, I would be tempted to make him captain.
I think he will be
I
captain,
think-
by the
I
way.
think People get obsessed with captains that run around on the pitch kicking people, but Maddison for me, I think he talks amazingly about the club, about the fans. He gets it. He interviews well, massive personality.
And by the way,
That's the emotional factor that everyone is drawn to.
I think he'll have a good season. I think he will stay fit this year.
by the way, it fucking pains me to say that, right? But I would sell Kulusevski as well on the same merit, right?
The guy had who the fuck's ever going to buy Kulusevski?
Sell or just listen. And it pains me to say that because I legit think he's legit one of my most favorite players of the past few years, right? And he just vanished a year ago, and I will probably never get to see him again, right? But purely from like the welfare of the club, we need to get rid of him, right? He's on 100k a week.
I think they are waiting for him to
Maddison's the same
retired.
shit.
I think they're waiting for a medical diagnosis that you're never going to play again, and then they'll retire him and then get the insurance.
Yeah.
Well, don't we know any doctors they can just pay money to? That's how it works. Just tell the doctor, write the report, make it insurance compatible. Let's get on with this.
Right, but then if he turns up and plays football again in a year's time, then you get sued or whatever. I'd imagine. I don't know, but I would just. I'm not suggesting I understand this one, but I would imagine that if you cancel his contract to make room in the squad, then you get nothing. Whereas if he ends up being unable to play football ever again, then you get your entire contract paid off in an insurance thing, just like what happened with Diogo Jota. That's what I'd imagine would happen. Let me do a couple of super chats, guys. We've been going for a long time, and I am smashed out of my fucking nut, so I should probably round it off soon. before I bring Mathys Tel back on as a face and start doing impressions. Big up to Matty Cox. Big up to you. He says, "Where's Gemma? I need a tough one, Sean." Hi guys! Hi! Big up to you, Matty Cox. Appreciate you, mate. How's your sobriety going, buddy? I hope it's better than mine, mate. I hope it's better than mine. Let me know, mate. Reach out to me, bud. Kieran Dallas says Levy leaving isn't the cancer cure people think it is. We've still got balloons at the helm and Arsenal rats in the house. That's before the Langer tit. I'm not sure what to make of that. There's a lot of inferred things there.
Levy isn't the cancer cure. We've still got
Levy
balloons at the
leaving
helm.
isn't the cancer cure. People think it is. We've still got balloons at the helm and Arsenal rats in the house. I think it's basically saying Levy going isn't everything. We still got Lang. We still got Vinay. We still got. Yeah, listen, Kieran, very, very cryptic, mate. But appreciate you, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Danny Kiriaki says, "Can we speak about Connor's tash?" It's a fucking brilliant tash, isn't it? It's absolutely son Sash and gnarly. The geezer's lost about. I don't know, how much you lost? 6 stone. What you done? You put it away, haven't you? What you done? You're on mute.
Muted.
Yeah, about 4.5 stone. Yeah.
Unbelievable stuff, mate.
Yeah.
Unbelievable stuff.
Have you done it naturally? Have you done it with the old Ozempic?
So we don't ask questions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, a bit of help, mate. A bit of help.
You look fantastic.
My
Connor,
friend's doing the same thing. He's lost 2 stone in like 3 months.
I tried the same thing. It didn't help me at all.
You're not supposed to drink when you're doing it, Sean.
Well, it ain't going to work, mate. Someone find me an injection where I can lose weight and still drink alcohol. Until that happens.
Sean, by the way, because my soon-to-be wife is a doctor, right? Don't do Ozempic and alcohol. It fucks your liver. Just either, it's really bad to combine the two. So, either do one or the other.
Fair enough. That's why I've been feeling so shit. That's why I called in
after 25 years of drinking, Sean. Yeah.
Listen, go forth with the alcohol, right?
My liver knows what to expect. It's become a custom to me. Anyway, Danny Kiriaki saying, "Can you speak up, Connor?" Big up to you, Connor. Big up to you, Danny. Thank you very much. Daniel Field says, "Why did the vampire open a bank account to keep his assets in circulation?"
It's like blood circulates. I guess that's the joke, right? I don't know. You guys are English. That's my second language.
That was one of those tumbleweed moments where.
Yeah. If jokes need to be explained, I don't know, Danny. Big up to you, Danny boy. Appreciate you, mate. Very generous though. A user says, "Do you think the Polinia boat has sailed?" I do. Yeah, I don't think he's coming. I don't think he's staying anymore.
This is another. See, I haven't even got onto this gripe. This change. This should have been the first thing we did. There's your new contract. You're staying. What are we doing?
Agreed.
What are we doing, man?
I agree.
Our best player the best player at Tottenham last year. The thing is, we don't know what's going on. That's the worst bit. No one knows what's going on.
With this one, I think you can only accept it if we go out and sign a top midfielder, because I think you say De Zerbi didn't want a Paulinia type. He wanted this specific type of 6 that was better on the ball or whatever. But if we don't sign a top midfielder, then it looks poor.
Yeah,
Would anyone take Nico Gonzalez? Would you take Gonzalez from City, by the way?
Yeah.
No, not
Why not?
I think it's decent.
I'd take Gonzalez all day long. He's a Rattata for me.
The thing
Nicolo Varela from Porto.
You still want Barella, yeah?
Varela.
Oh, Varela. Oh, sorry, from where? From Porto. Oh, yeah,
Porto.
Yeah.
Manukoni was the one 2 years ago. I said it. We should have got him. It was 10 million euros. We didn't want to touch him. Freaking, he's become an absolute baller in Serie A. Manukoni. Yeah. Is he at Inter Milan now?
No, Roma.
Roma.
Big up to you.
Anyway, Paulinia should be in the squad.
Yeah.
At least he should be in the squad.
Yeah.
Kieran Dallas comes in saying Lang gurgles. Oh, I'm not reading that one out. That's weird. Appreciate you, mate.
What the fuck? Homeless gravy. What the fuck?
That's so weird. And a user says Spurs transfer list is longer than a Beyonce queue. Is she still hitting it? Is Beyonce still popular? Is she? I haven't seen her at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this summer. So
she's not been there for a while, has she? No.
Apparently, she's not allowed to come back until the pitch inspection's complete because she got injured.
Want to do her ACL?
Investigate the pitch. Investigate the pitch. All right, guys. Listen, we're going for 3 hours.
Can I say, Sean, you have caused such a scam with this whole pitch nonsense, right? We've been on that pitch since 2019. No injury crisis for a good 5 years. 2 bad years. Right, investigate the pitch. There's nothing wrong for the 5 years before that.
Still, are you implicitly suggesting that my channel, my drunken hosted channel, has some sort of influence with the football club. The fact that the football club are now suggesting that they're investigating the pitch. Is that what you are implicitly suggesting, that my channel and you lot, me, Drunken Sean, and you sober bozos getting together, whoever you are, not just you three, but the rest of you clowns that come on the channel, are you suggesting that we have a little bit of influence because the club are now investigating the pitch? Or is it just possible that what I was suggesting was common sense and it doesn't take the club to listen to me, drunken, magnumed up butler, to come to the right conclusion, but they get to it anyway because it's common fucking sense, Del? What is it you're suggesting? Is it that I was right all along or that I have influence all along? What is it you're suggesting, Del? I'm open-minded, and either way, I'm a winner in this conversation. Correct yourself, son. Let me know.
You put out a video saying, they're listening to me. They've listened to me. They heard what I said. I'm only... You took all the ownership, so you've got to take all the blame. 6 years we played on that pitch, no injury crisis, no problems. 2 bad years. They're listening to me. My tech bro, I emailed him. I told him.
Dude, if I actually believe that these people were listening to me in any way, shape, or form, I wouldn't be turning up pissed out of my head every time I press the go live button. They're not listening. I hope they're not
believe you, Sean. People watch your videos and they cling on to it. Oh, Sean knows. I believe Sean, and you influence people.
Don't listen to me. I'm just a donut with some magnums and a dog. That's all I've got.
Mate, people listen to Connor. When Connor talks about finance in the club, they listen to him.
People
listen to me. People, there's some, not many. There's a few. When I say we got to relegate the club, I had an army like, yeah, let's go.
Listen, if I genuinely thought I had influence over people's opinions, I'd take it more seriously. For the love of God, for those people that are listening to this on now live or those that watch back, don't listen to a word that I say. I'm just having a bit of fun. I'm just talking my bollocks and don't listen to a word I say ever. For the love of God, don't do that. You'll go down the wrong path. Guys, listen, it's been fun. It's been sensational. It's been a long fucking show, 3 hours and 15 minutes. I want to say a massive thank you to you, Connor. What's coming up on? Let me get your channel up, mate. What's going on with when the whistle blows? When's the next show?
Yeah, we've got to do something. This is my first show for about 2 months or something. So
I know.
Yeah, I've taken some time out.
Can I give you the same advice that I gave Stel, which is this is the time of the year when your channel goes 2.5 grand to 10 grand subscribers, because everyone cares more about what might be than what is. Everyone cares about what's coming rather than what you actually have, even though half of it's bullshit, 90% of it's bullshit. So you and Billy need to get back at it very quickly.
Yeah, we will. I'll chat to Billy. We'll get back on it for sure. But yeah, thank you for having me on. Good to be on with you, Stel, as well, and Michael, Sean. Thank you, lads.
Thank you, Connor, mate. I love you to pieces, man. Thanks for bringing the sensible stuff with the finance as well. There's the whistle blows. It's right there on the screen. Let me get Stel's channel whilst I'm getting Stel. Thank you so much for coming on, my man, Michael. What's coming on in your world, buddy? You doing anything recently with the Tottenham world?
Nah. I took a huge break from YouTube because like all the wedding stuff we had to take care of, and listen, I didn't need all the pessimism, and I'm not saying from you guys, just in general, like Spurs were a miserable club to follow, so I even took a break from watching matches. I just had to. I'm just like slowly coming back.
You're getting married as well in a couple of weeks, yeah?
Yeah, 2.5 weeks on the 20th of June. So
mate.
14 actually 2 weeks.
Can I ask the lucky girl's name?
Ola.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So Alexandra. So you know, that's a shortened version is Ola in Polish. So yeah.
Congratulations, mate. Or commiserations, however it works out. And we got one here. Tottenham away, Ola. There we go. Stel, when's your next show, mate? You're doing this. You're doing the transfer stuff every day right now, aren't you? You shameless shill. You shameless shill. You came after me every single time for my transfer news, views, and clues, and now you're doing it exactly the same way. Even better, if I'm honest, with your data. It's fantastic.
Content's got to content, so you know.
Very good.
Yeah, look, I've got a video coming out tomorrow morning. My views on the signing of Robertson. You may or may not want to watch it depending on how you feel. And I've also got a live show on Sunday. You're all welcome to come on. I think it's about 6 o'clock. Just jump on if you want, if you're bored. And then Monday, I've got a video on Dusan Vlahovic. There you go.
Okay. Interesting. All right. There's a Tottenham away, LA. Get over to there. I want to say massive thank you. It's been a long fucking show, guys. And apologies if I've got off the rails with my booze. But it is what it is. It's Friday night. We are going to Friday nights. They're going to Friday nights. Michael, thank you so much. Connor, thank you so much. Stel, thank you so much. Thank you to all the super chats. And of course, who else was on the show earlier on? We had Hugo and we had Hayden as well. Legends as they are. We will no doubt see them in a couple of days' time on the next live. You'll see me tomorrow for some transfer news views inclusive, as you always do. Do get over to the Spurs Hub. That way. It's we're getting towards 1,000 users now. Starting to grow out. The forums big up every day. All of your transfer news views include Stel's videos, everyone's videos, Connor's videos. Everyone's videos are going to be on there. The podcast videos are going to be on there all the time. The podcast shows will be on there all the time. We got the predictions for the World Cup. It's a growing platform. It's really cool. Please do subscribe. It's free for everybody. And don't forget OK Jersey as well. Code Sean15 at checkout gets you 15% off. You can't ask better than that. Big up to you, Mashina Joe. We will see you tomorrow, guys. Love you all. Take care. And as always, come on, you Spurs. Bye.
Come on, you Spurs.